Bam! Oh my, I forgot my mic was muted! Konbanwa, minasan! Yahoo yahoo! It is I, Sushi's local overworked red panda, live with you again today to, make do with the streams that I have been keeping on postponed for like an entire week because I wasn't prepared enough. I thought I would be able to say, wait, let me just move this. Boop, boop. Yeah, there you go. I thought I was gonna be able to like do this on the spot, but halfway through trying to make a presentation for the lore dump that I am about to deal in this chat, I realized that I kind of want to do this a lot more professional, quote unquote, even though it's not really professional, but like professional-ish, so I have me. It's mostly for me, so that I have a little bit of flow and stuff. So I have a bit of a flow. I did not expect that it was gonna be that long. I keep telling myself that it's not gonna be that long, and right now, the presentation slides that I have for this stream and yet tomorrow, well, not tomorrow, on Wednesday stream is going to be 108 slides in total. I know that that's a lot, but I will try to make it like fast and not too convoluted because even I don't remember a lot of these things. Okay? Eto ne! But before we go to that, how is Hamskis today? How is everybody today? Eto, who's here? Oh, Envy, congratulations on getting first. Yes, it has been a while since you got first. Yeah, we have hearts as well. Because it is Valentine's month, at least. It's gonna be like, how many days left? 9, 1, 2, 3, 4. 9, 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 days left before the Day of Hearts. That'll be on a Saturday, which means I shouldn't go out on a Saturday, but I feel like I have an invitation to go out on Saturday, actually. Not for a romantic date. I think for a friend date. My friend wants to go to, Patron of the Arts. Oh, not Patron of the Arts. Is it Patron of the Arts? I just know that it's a BL convention or a Boys Love convention that's nearby. And it's gonna be a lot of, merch, art merch. Once again, I don't know if I'll be buying anything because I haven't really been into anime as of recent. Pota BLCon. Oh, Pota BLCon. Yeah, I haven't really been into anime recently. So I don't know if I'll find anything worthwhile there to buy. But it'll be a fun thing to do. Go once again spending money on stickers and art markets. But hey, anyway, hello there. Welcome to the stream. Hello Zacer, welcome. And you as well, Shooty. Welcome everybody. Let's see. Do I need an explanation as to why I suddenly disappeared for like half a week last week? Aside from, again, not being prepared enough to do this stream where I will lore dump on everybody about the comics that I've read. I also just didn't, I don't know if like my hormones is doing its thing and telling me that something is about to arrive or some shit. I just didn't really feel like talking. I just didn't feel like streaming the entirety of last week. Like the Kiwi stream was fun and all. Like I really wanted to do like if you were here last Friday, when I had a hot take stream with Kiwi, hot take yap stream with Kiwi. I was really tempted to cancel on her, but I love Kiwi so much to cancel on her because I didn't want to press that stream that stream on button, stream start button. I really didn't want to do that, but I worked through it. And it was a really fun stream. If you were there last Friday, that was a fun stream. We didn't expect it to go as well as it did. A lot of people left a lot of hot takes. And also, we kind of figured out that I really have a hot take that pineapples go on pizza. So I'm sorry if I've let all the hamskis down, but pineapples do go on pizza. That is my hot take. That was my hottest take of the night, it appears to me. Then, What else did I do? Saturday. I don't think I did anything on Saturday. I still hate the cucumber on dishes. They do agree. Oh my god, finally somebody agrees with me. I really can't explain it. I just like the way when the pineapple juices kind of because it kind of balances out the tomato sauce. I can't really explain. I believe pineapple should be grilled before getting placed on a pizza. Cause like I feel like the pineapples on pizza that I eat at least is that they cook the pizza with the pineapple in it. So in some ways, the pineapple is not fresh. It's a little bit grilled. Do Americans do it differently from like the Philippines? Do they do it differently? Not just wet fresh pineapple. Like it's not that wet when I eat Hawaiian pizza. It's not that very. It's not like you like fresh pineapple when you bite through a fresh pineapple and it's watery like a watermelon. Depends on the shop. Oh, it's like in here the restaurants or like the pizza places that I remember that I like their Hawaiian pizzas from, like Pizza Hut, Angel's Pizza. I actually don't like Pizza Hut Hawaiian. Shakey's Hawaiian pizza. Like with the charring. It's not very grilled, but I feel like it's still cooked in some ways. Like when my family and I buy pizza, we buy it like an hour early before dinner, so it gets a little cold when it's time to eat it. So what we do is that we put it in the oven for like another 2 minutes or 3 minutes until like the entire bread is a little bit more crunchy. And so also the pineapple becomes a little bit more crunchy. So maybe that's why I don't really mind for Hawaiian or like pineapple on pizza too much. Either way, everybody has their preferences, and my preference is I like pineapple on pizza. But would Hawaiian pizza be my favorite pizza? No. What is the Hamski's favorite pizza flavor? I would say my favorite would still be pepperoni. I still like pepperoni a lot. And occasionally I've gotten a little bit tired of it, but I really like the Angel's Pizza's white spinach pizza. I like that. It has a lot of cream cheese. Any pizza with cream cheese on it, I like. I like that. And pepperoni. I would sometimes like eating all meat or like something with more meat. Pepperoni is always a solid choice. It's like the neutral choice. You can't go wrong with pepperoni. If you get pepperoni wrong in a pizza, then what are you doing? Okay, Tufi wants out. Hold on. I'm gonna open the aircon. Oppa! Why is my model like that now? Uh-oh. Also, apologies. Oh my god, hello, maligo ka muna. Kamusta ka na? Naligo na ako. You'd be surprised. I actually did take a bath a little bit later than I usually would. Cause, after spending... What did I do last Saturday? Last Saturday, I remember... Oops, what's this? Oh, never mind then. I like pesto pizza or any pizza with thin crust. I've also recently, well, not recently. I suppose I've always been like a thick crust kind of gal, but I also have a newfound appreciation for thin crust. Sometimes the crunchiness in the thin crust is like way better than the thick crust. Lalo na if there's a couple of pizza brands here that have really bready pizza, and their thin crusts are way better because they are crunchy. I like crunchy pizza. But if there's no choice for a thin crust, I would just pop the pizza in the oven for like 5 minutes to make sure that the bread is very crisp. Hindi I only just took a bath like maybe my hair is still wet. Like maybe 2 hours ago. An hour or two ago. Because normally I take a bath at around 5:30 p.m. before we have dinner. Unfortunately, today, I got really tired from yesterday's excursion with some of my friends. We went to Manila Ocean Park. Yes, I'm telling you, the general direction or like general area where I was yesterday. We went to Manila Ocean Park. It's a city aquarium near the shoreline of Manila Bay. When I was younger, it was like a pretty big deal because it's like one of the first aquariums in the metro area, or at least the city area. And I remember going there as a young kid. I don't remember if I bought anything from there, but I remember going there, and I don't remember a lot of what I've seen in the ocean park. So now when I'm like, I'm older, I have the money, I have the time. I decided, hey, why don't we go back and check out Ocean Park again after so long? Because I remember like back then, I'm not sure if it was during the pandemic or before or after the pandemic, that the ocean park was like at the verge of bankruptcy or something. I'm not really sure, but I have this faint memory of that being the thing, or like that being a thing. And I don't know why I think they had some like, or maybe it was like a animal rights accusations and something that got them in like a lot of hot water. And after a while they fixed the administration and stuff, and I guess they're okay now. So we went there yesterday. It was a lot of walking. I did a lot of walking, so much so that today I pretty much crashed and burned. I'm not sick, but I feel very tired. Like I would lie down on bed. I stayed on the bed. I stayed on the bed for the entire day. I didn't even do exercise. That was how tired I was. I had like a migraine the moment I woke up, and it kept staying there because I'm stubborn and I didn't drink any medicine. I was trying to do something productive despite my laziness and the migraine that was forming in my head, which made it worse. I started editing some of my Prism model because there is a new update. So I did edit a little bit of the Prism model. Actually, I can show you. I can show everybody. Because I cannot for the life of me keep secrets. So I will show everybody. Hold on. Transforming robots? Are we talking about Voltus 5? Voltus 5 is not a transforming robot. They are a combiner. Wait, do they transform? I know they're vehicles, and then they only transform into like part of a leg or part of Voltus 5 once they combine together. So I would say that they're a combiner, not a transformer. Okay, what was I doing? Prism closet. Okay, hold on. Let me do the thing. I'll show you what I did today. It's not yet done, but I did do some things. Oh. Was it this one? Yep. They transform into parts. Yeah, but they just transform into parts now, don't they? Oh! I have the wrong model on, but look at me. I've decided I'm going to use the Prism model to do Chisato. So, here we are. This is not Sue. I am currently using the face of Chisato, but yes, I am currently Sue in front of you. I haven't fixed most of the textures. I haven't fixed the clothes, like the colors. Disco Sato. Yeah, she has this clothes and she also has another set of clothes. Let me turn it on. What's the other one? Ito. Actually, yeah, I think this is the only clothes I have for Chisato. Don't I have a regular one for her? Let me check. Oh, it's the other one. Okay, hold on. It's the other one. Turn this off. Put these on. Pa-pa-pum, I have no body. Oh, no! There you go. Ah, my head! Uh-oh. Why is it... Uh-oh. What happened? What happened? Wait! How... Oh, good lord. What is happening? Hey! Where's my body? Long. Please, how do I put this body behind me? There has to be a way to put this body behind me. How do I put the head in front of me? I don't really remember what I did. Why did I break this model? Oh, good lord. Okay, let me fix it again. Can I fix it? Drop pin? Don't pin it then. Oh, good lord. Okay, close that. And let's do it again. Why is my head not going in the right location as it does? What did I do wrong, man? What did I do wrong? Can I fix the layering or no? I guess not. Reload the entire model. Okay, perhaps I can do that. Give me a moment. Let's return to me. Oop. There is me belly. Okay, hold on. I will reload myself again. Whoop! I'm currently on the Chisato head. It's still like that! What did I do wrong? Ah! Where's the head? Locked all items. Unlock all items. What the hell did I do? Why is my head like this? Okay, if I close this, make myself bigger, and then just load it again. Eh! 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 Milfiore family looking model. Can it please fix? There you go. Okay. Model movement lock. Can we move my model? There you go. There you go. I currently only have Chisato's model so far. I did do my own. Kelty cosplay. I also have one for Sue. Hold on, let me get Sue's model. Yeah. Oh, we should take out my earrings and my head. Hold on. W. There's me. There's my model using the prism model. I also have a different set of clothes for my own. Yeah. Yeah. Ta-da! I haven't edited it yet. I haven't fixed the colors. But I tried redoing it because there is an update. Woohoo! Des moi. I was fighting through a headache doing this. Oh, I forgot my tail. My tail! Hold on, my tail! Ta-da! Oh no, it's doing it again! Wait. Show yourself. I know you're watching me. Show yourself. Where's the tail? The tail is not popping up. There you go. Uh-oh. Did it die? Did it crash? Because if it crashed, I need to load another model on it. Ah, there you go. Hooray! This is the usual model that I'm going to be using. The jank, the tail, and the model. All of it. I also have another one for her. Let's take out the body. Goodbye, body. I also have this. I also have a... we're gonna do the... Uh-oh. Take that up and put this one in. Why is my head over it? Why? Oh my good lord. The jankiness of it. Okay, hold on. Let me reset the model. That's so funny, man. I can't. You know what? Let's just go. Oh, okay. We'll turn this off. I also have another one. Let's see if this works. Can you please have my head behind the model? Is it on now? Where'd the body go? Oh my god, what is that? Why is the body so small? it so small compared to the rest of my body? What just happened? Oh man. What is happening? Close that. Okay, and then I need to close my tail as well. Close the tail. This was fine earlier. What is happening? Let's put this on. Please. Can you... It's... Oh, it's gone again. It's gone again. Where did it go? Seriously, what is happening with this? Oh, there you go. I also have this. I'm kind of like an unfinished model. I am an unfinished model. I have no colors. You have yet to paint me. The tracking on my mouth and the tracking on my eyes and my head is kind of still not fixed. So there's a couple of things I need to do, but my head was already hurting. And my eyes was also hurting, so I said, yeah, okay, we'll do this another time. We'll do this another time. So I'm still yet to do Leah's model. But so far, here we are. Okay, everybody say goodbye to this model. Bye-bye. We're going back to me. We're going back to me. Bye. Oh, wait. I want to be closer. Wait. Ito ne. Bye. That's kind of scary, actually. I'm so close. Bye. Ah, cute model. A cute model. Okay, hold on. Moving back to myself. Oppa, there is moi. But where is my tail? Control T, I think? No, that's not what my tail button is. What is my tail button? I have forgotten. Also, my block page down. Oh, that's not it. What the hell? Why aren't my thingies popping up? Huh. So many things going wrong now just because I decided to show everybody the model that I wanted to show, and now everything is just gone. Where's my tail, buddy? Oh, thank you for the hydrate. Oh, there's the tail. There you go. And there's the block. There you go. There it is. And then, I did that today, and I took a nap. I woke up with I felt like I was a little bit warm, but the sickness wasn't coming out. So I just decided to not do the work that I needed to do today, and spent most of the morning and the afternoon watching Percy Jackson. I watched Percy Jackson, the season 2 at least. Season 2 Percy Jackson, and I was really into Percy Jackson when I was younger. I read the books. Then I watched the movies, and I partook in the fandom. Did I read fan fiction? I don't think I did. I read the books. I collected the Heroes of Olympus books. I was really into it. If I remember, I don't know if I've mentioned that before, but I first watched the movie. I first got into Percy Jackson because of the movie with Logan Lerman in it. Even though a lot of people that read the books absolutely hated the movie, I liked it and got me interested enough to read Percy Jackson. And lucky me, my library at school happened to have copies of, I think, almost all the available books at that time. So I was waiting for the Sea of Monsters book in the library because I wanted to read it in order. I couldn't read Lightning Thief because somebody borrowed Lightning Thief, so I couldn't really read it. So I was waiting for Sea of Monsters. And besides, I've already watched the movie, and from what I know, it follows microscopic model Lamau. Indeed, why? What's wrong with the microscopic model? It is a microscopic model. Yeah, I don't know why it did that. Ito, I just didn't read the book. So I was waiting for Sea of Monsters, and I was because in our library you only you're only allowed to take out the book for like a week, and then you have to return it, or if you don't return it, you can borrow it again for another week. So I was waiting for the person who borrowed it for a week, even though the next book, Titan's Return, or I think the Titan's Curse was available on the shelf. But I didn't want to skip a book. I already skipped Lightning Thief. Why would I skip Sea of Monsters as well? Besides, the next movie, Sea of Monsters, is also going to come out soon. So I thought, I can wait a week before I read Titan's Curse, or so that I can borrow Sea of Monsters. Come the second week, the person who borrowed it still hasn't returned the book, and I was getting really, really, really tired of waiting. So I just ended up checking out Titan's Curse, reading that, and then continuing on for the rest of the Percy Jackson series. From then on, I never read Lightning Thief and Sea of Monsters. I watched the Sea of Monsters movie and absolutely hated it. The magic that was there in the Lightning Thief was somehow gone in Sea of Monsters, and because of the criticisms that Lightning Thief had, like the first movie, they a lot of the movie, what do you say, like the character appearance of some of the characters from the first movie changed in the second movie. So yeah, it wasn't really that good. Even though the actors in it were good, the story and the pacing, I suppose, was like not. And then we just never got the follow up to Titan's Curse from then on. And then 3 years ago, Percy Jackson the series premiered on Disney Plus. I watched the first season. I really like the kid casts that they have, and also like the gods that they also cast. Unfortunately, I can't explain what, but maybe I'm just not the target demographic anymore, and I just don't enjoy Percy Jackson the way that they do it. But I think the first season, they had the parts for greatness, but they fumbled it a little bit in terms of pacing and dialogue. I think it was pacing and dialogue. For the second season, finally, the first time I'm ever watching or like experiencing Sea of Monsters in the way Rick Riordan wanted it to be experienced, I can say that it is definitely a lot better paced than the first season. Fortunately, just don't really like the story of Sea of Monsters. It's just one big book of trying to save Thalia, the tree, and there's the whole prophecy thing that Percy is trying to escape from and stuff. It's also the book where Clarice, or the daughter of Ares, gets a focal point, and she becomes, in the future, like the protector of Camp Half-Blood. I just wasn't really interested in what the heck was going on with the rest of the plot, so I was watching it at the back of... It was my white noise while I was making the prism model. And then, I think they're continuing on with production while this year. So it's going to be out, the next season is going to be out either late this year or early next year. Which is exciting because I really, 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 really love Titan's Curse. It's where they introduced Nico D'Angelo and his sister, who are kids of Hades. And yeah, I'm excited. Maybe I'm just not really into Greek gods anymore. Oh, no. That's what I realized pala. I never realized it, but Sea of Monsters is actually just a retelling of Odysseus's epic. The Epic of Odysseus. It's basically it. They used like the actual Sea of Monsters where Charybdis is, and Polyphemus is also involved. The Odyssey, yes, the Odyssey. Scylla is also involved. We have Circe keeping Percy and Annabeth in the island. There were sirens. It's basically just that. And Polyphemus has the Golden Fleece, which essentially can heal just any kind of life-threatening injury. But yeah, but that's about enough yapping. Oh, I guess very quickly, man. So weird. Odysseus went on an odyssey. Anyway, long story short, for what happened yesterday is that I saw a lot of fish, very good fish. We watched like in the many aquariums that we went through. Maybe we watched like maybe 4 fishes fighting each other. It was so funny to see. In the reptilian area, we managed to go through the area while they were feeding the reptiles. So a lot of them were awake and just nomming on salads. It was very cute. Seals, adorable. I fucking love seals. They're so majestic and elegant in the water. They are essentially mermaids. If sailors were none the wiser of what sea creatures are and saw things like zooming in the water really fast and like moving really majestically, I would agree that possibly that what they were seeing were seals. Because like, man, they were so fast, they were so pretty, they're so smart too. Like, oh, what else? Oh, we also saw a couple of birds in the biodome. There's like, I think those are pelicans. I think they were pelicans. And in the pelican area, there were like 2 ducks that were trying to stand closer to where the pelicans were. Because I think they left out a tray of meatloaf close to the pelicans. And the ducks want to eat they don't want to eat the pelicans, but they want to eat the meatloaf. So they've been like slowly inching towards the pelicans until they moved away so they can eat the meatloaf. It was fun. It was fun. Every now it was a fun experience. It exhausted me, but it was fun. What else? Oh, I guess the entire experience also kind of made me relive the possibility that maybe in another life I could have been like an animal doctor or an animal scientist, because I really wanted to be a veterinarian when I was younger. It just didn't work out because my parents wanted me to be something different. You know, like true Asian parents, they dictate what I become in the future. Technically, they influence what I decided to be in the future. And I couldn't be the one that child me wanted me to be in the future. Instead, I may not be an animal doctor or an animal research scientist. I have instead become an animal on the internet. I've become a red raccoon, a red panda on the internet. Anyway, let's get this show on the road. Hold on, let me move shit again. Let me move stuff. Whoop. And I'm gonna move myself as well. I've become a furry. Yeah, essentially. I've become a furry. Uh-oh. Oh. There you go. Yeah! Maybe it's bigger. Whoop. Because now I will show you my screen! Hold on. Okie dokie, are we ready for this? Popong! Explaining IDW Transformers. This is part 1. Because like I said, there is 108 slides for this. I didn't expect there to be 108. But I decided apparently that I'm gonna stick with 108. And I don't want it to go any less than 108. So it's just part 1. I don't know where I will stop with part 2. I do have a clear idea of where I want to stop part 2. But if we can go further than that, then that would be better. So we should start now. Why did I decide to explain IDW Transformers to the masses? Like, why? Nobody cares. I care. I care a lot. Think of it this way. You know how Fate Go fans would lore dump any chance that they can get? That's me. That's me with IDW Comics. I want to lore dump as much as I can about these about these robots. Oh god. I'll drink water. Why would I want to lore dump about these robots? Aside from Marvel MCU, and maybe Jujutsu Kaisen and Kingdom Hearts, I suppose IDW Transformers is the is one of those franchises that I really, really, really got invested in terms of the politics, what was happening, the main players, the beginning until the end. I was all in. I was locked the fuck in. Unfortunately, there is a lot that's going on because this is the comics, and I've always had this little beef with comic books that the status quo always, even though the status quo has changed given like a certain event, say in Marvel, in the Marvel comics, Spider-Man always has, I think the one Spider-Man run that I finished from beginning to end is the Superior Spider-Man run, and I I think I briefly read through what led to Superior Spider-Man, and then I read through the entirety of Superior Spider-Man, and then what came after that, I kind of forget. But a lot of the newly established lore from Superior Spider-Man ended up becoming rebooted anyway or rehashed after the, I don't remember if it was the Axis event or it was like an event that crashed the Ultimate Universe and the 616 universe until it became like an entirely new continuity. So I despise comics for that reason. The whole idea that stories are not never end. Stories never end in comics. They storylines end, but the entire plot or like the entire thing never ends. It's every new year, every new publication, a new writer takes head and continues on to use the same characters, giving them new problems, new enemies, new villains, probably the same villains, rehashing a little bit of the story from old as a means of, say, giving an homage to classic stories. It's kind of hard for me to invest myself in comic book, is what I'm saying. That's why I got really into MCU, like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I got really into it because even though these are comic book characters, they have been polished. They have been polished for the general masses, which unfortunately was me. And they made it so that all of these characters has a progression. They have character progression, character regression. They have character arcs that end or get dropped depending on the character or the movie that you're watching. It's just like it's like it's interesting essentially. I like being invested with the character and knowing what happens with their decisions, how it leads them to the end, and how the entirety of the story, regardless of how long you've been telling that story, ends in a neat little bow. This is why manga, or I'm really glad that shonen manga in the recent years have been ending. I mean, they have a beginning and an end. A lot of new age manga shonen manga have ended. Say, aside from, there's like, Boku no Hero has finished, Kimetsu no Yaiba has finished, Jujutsu Kaisen is finished as a manga. Like the quote unquote new age shonen, the new age big three shonen are all finished in serialization. They have sequels, sure, or spin-offs, but the main story is over. So I like that. I like that. So when I finally got into Transformers again, when I finished watching Transformers 1 and watched Transformers Prime, I thought to myself, while I was reading fanfiction, a lot of the fanfics that I was reading had G1 or IDW Transformers as their continuity soup. Essentially, what that means is a lot of the ideas that they're using in the fanfic that they're currently writing uses a lot of ideas or lore or character personalities, character progressions, and stuff from the comics. So, I read a few, but I got a little confused in some of them. So, I tried looking for how to read it, because this is long. what's my first slide? Hold on, let me check. Hippapa, 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 oppa. Got it. No, we're not doing that. Here, do this. Boop. There you go. Okay, that's why I love X-Men series. Not only does it cycle through different characters, combination arc shifts are also pretty significant, so they don't feel like rehashes. I guess that's why also X-Men managed to maintain its fan base. Because like, say Spider-Man, Iron Man, Captain America, I feel like they always have like the same rehashes and stuff. That's why right now, I believe, don't quote me on this, I believe DC is currently one-upping Marvel with the whole absolute run with absolute Wonder Woman, absolute Batman, and absolute Spider-Man. But yeah, that's a different ball game. That's not mine. Okay. Yeah, I have a whole ass Canva. Did I say absolute Spider-Man? No. Absolute Superman. I'm sorry. Absolute Superman, absolute Wonder Woman, and absolute Batman. Sorry. They both start with an S and end with an man. So I'm sorry. That was my dead brain running faster than I can speak it out loud. Okay, so let's start. So here's what you need to know. A lot of comics need to come back to their status quo since the MCs have established tropes that they still need to uphold. Yeah, like with Spider-Man, look, I don't care what you do with him, he just needs to be depressed. He needs to be depressed. If he's not depressed and struggling as a middle-class white man in New York, then I don't want it. Hello, Shaolin. Okay, so here's what you need to know. IDW Comics, which was published in 2009, I think. It started publishing in 2009 and ended in 2019. So it's a really long run. It's divided into two phases. Phase 1 and phase 2. Also, is my presentation like okay being side move like this? It's not like distracting or anything. I wanted to try something. It's okay? Alright, I will move this a little bit here so you can see. There you go. Here's what you need to know. So, it's divided into two phases. Phase 1 and phase 2. Phase 1 is kind of a mess. It took me a long time to get through phase 1. Phase 2 is the good part. It's what everybody, or at least a lot of the people that I read like a read a recommendation for newer people that want to read IDW comics, especially after Transformers 1. We're saying just read phase 2. Unfortunately for me, I wanted to understand everything. I wanted to read everything. Okay, I wanted to Starscream. I wanted to read everything. So I said, you know what? I don't care if phase 1 is a mess. I will read through it. I will do it for the lore. I regretted that. I regretted that. Absolutely regretted it. So, okay, it has really bad pacing issues. I had to power through it. Or if you're interested in reading the IDW comics, you can either power through it or skip it. I powered through it. I powered through it. Some of my favorite titles in phase 1 would be the Autocracy, Transformers Autocracy, All Hail Megatron, the entirety of the mainline series, which is the Transformers Volumes 1 to 7, spotlight issues of your favorite bots. This is essentially like a one-shot. They're like one-shots related to the story, but it focuses on the point of view of the Transformer that you're interested in. More Transformers words. No. We're not gonna talk about terms. We're gonna talk about the story itself. And then phase 2 is the actual good part. Like this is where it actually gets good. Lore, yes. So phase 1 is focused a lot more on the war between the Decepticons and the Autobots. Phase 2 is the aftermath of the war. This is the good shit. And like compared to phase 1 where they're kind of like introducing a lot of plot points that lead to nowhere. Sometimes it leads to something, most of the time it doesn't. A lot of shit gets dropped. Phase 2 was planned out from the beginning. And I like that. I like when the story is sort of planned out. Like you kind of don't realize that all of it is planned out until like the very end when it all comes together. Uh I would agree with most of the things that I've read online now after reading through all of this that you can skip phase 1. Skip this. Maybe except maybe all Hail Megatron and Transformers 1 to 7. Everything else ignorable. So when you are except maybe the Chaos Theory and the Last Stand of the Wreckers, which is part of phase 1. Don't worry, I'll break it down. Phase 2 is also divided into 2 flavors. Depending on what kind of flavor you want in your Transformers, you can just rate that. There is Robots in Disguise, later retitled into The Transformers, has the political center of the what do you call this? Of the lore. Anything related to the rekindling of Cybertron and Cybertron's relationship with Earth is in RID or the Transformers main title. More Than Meets the Eye is my favorite, and a lot of people's favorites, is the Queer Space Adventures. I will discuss more later about that today. So, there are a total of 397 books in this goddamn universe. Can you guess how long it took me to read all of this? Can you make a lucky guess? How long did I have to go through 97 books? 2 days? No, I'm not that fast of a reader. No, not 2 days. A little longer. Actually, how long did I read it? 3 days. No. Still no. Can I read a book with 397 pages? Yes. In 3 days, yes, I can do that. Can I read 397 books with each having maybe 20 to 25 pages each in 3 days? No, I cannot do that. I'm not Superman. I don't have speed reading, although I have speed read a couple of these books. So where do you even start? Where do you start with 397 books under your plate with the whole comic tie-ins happening? If you read comic books, you would know that there is a main title, and then for each main title or each main event, there is like separations of like side stories that are kind of important to read. How long? Oh, it took me like maybe a year or two. It took me a year or two to finish reading all 397 books. It's long. Also because I took breaks. Some of them were pretty hard to go through. I was just like losing interest. It took a while. And when I was almost done, I was just prolonging the inevitable. I took like maybe 3 months break from reading before the actual story ends, because I didn't want it to end. I just wanted to read more. But anyway, so here there is an available collections. If you just scour through the internet, there is like an omnibus for all of the volumes divided into the phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. It is, think of it like I have one here. I have a comic book here that's the Deadpool collection, and it kind of puts all of the issues in the recommended reading order that you read it in. I had this. However, while I was starting the first one, like the first volume, I immediately got confused. So I stopped reading from the collection and tried looking for a more accessible or a more easy to understand set of chronology of issues that I'm supposed to read. That's when I found this. I found this thing, and it sort of helped me a little bit to Oh, no. This was following the IDW collections reading order. It starts with Megatron Origin, and then it drops you to Autocracy, which I said are like important reads, and then to Infiltration. I read through these 3, and I was really confused. I had no idea what the fuck was happening. Origins was pretty nice to read. Autocracy got me really confused, especially when I got into infiltration. I was like, no, I don't. This is not the right reading order for me to go through because I don't understand what the fuck is happening. It's like it's telling you to read each of these per run rather than like breaking it down. Say like with infiltration, it has like I think infiltration has 7 issues, and then in between there's like spotlights. In this reading order, I do not see the spotlights. It just tells you, okay, you just read from this to 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 this, and so on. It doesn't tell you the nuances of what the reading order should be. It just tells you the main titles that you should be reading and in that specific order. So I was still very confused. So I ended up looking for another reading order. And then I found Ken Prender's IDW Transformers main continuity reading order. It's available on Tumblr. It's a Tumblr page. I think Ken Prenders is a comic artist. I didn't even realize that they were. But either way, Ken Prender's main continuity reading order is pretty solid. This is where I started reading in the way that I enjoyed reading it. It made me understand the timeline a bit better. So there is like I tried to look for a video that summarizes everything that I'm about to say on YouTube. It's not. I don't think that's a Lopunny. I think that's a Sonic character. It's the. I think that might be a Sonic OC. That might be a Sonic OC. Okay, so there is this YouTube channel that I found. I was hoping that they would be able to like explain the entirety of IDW to make it easier for everybody, like a quick summary instead of listening to me yap in detail what happens per issue and what I think about it per issue. Unfortunately, this video is incomplete. It was made like 8 years ago before the story or the IDW continuity ended completely. I think he made the video halfway through the second season. Second season of the phase 2 or phase 3, I'm not sure, issues of the comics. But either way, if you want a quick rundown of what the hell is happening between phase 1 and phase 2, go check out that video. As for me, we're gonna go through it now. So like I said earlier, I started with Megatron Origins based on the reading order on the volumes or the IDW volumes. Ito ne. So Megatron Origins, it's essentially, you know, what you need to know is that, oh, here, actually. I actually like reading this. It's a bit brutal. The art style is kind of, I didn't particularly like the art style for this one, but I can stomach through it. It's essentially, what I found interesting in it is that a lot of the modern Megatron Origins took inspiration from this. Like, you know, with Transformers 1. A lot of Transformers 1's origin stories for Megatron and the rest of the Cybertronians kind of began, and also the politics. Yes, we are talking bots. I get to yap. I'm going to autistically yap about Transformers and the comics that I've read. 397 books, Cal. 397 books. It took me a year to read through all of these. A year. Anyway, we're starting from the beginning of the reading order that I found by Ken Prenders. So this is the first one that I read. Even though Ken Prenders said that I shouldn't read this first. Wait, hold on. What did Ken Prenders say that I should read first? Hold on. Ken Prenders reading order IDW. According to Ken Prenders, the reading order should start with infiltration, I think. No thanks. Yeah, it should start with infiltration. But I am going to start with Origins because this is the one that I read first. Again, a lot of the backstory lore that we get for Megatron in the first time I saw it, if I remember correctly, the first time I saw this origins available in like more modern takes of Megatron's backstory was in Transformers Prime, Transformers 1, and a lot of fan fiction. A lot of fan fiction really like having Megatron as an Energon miner, and that because of the discrimination and a lot of work abuses that has been being done to them as Energon miners, which is essentially like the bottom of the social class. He gets fed up with it. He revolts. He manages to run away or liberate himself as an Energon miner. He becomes a gladiator in Kaon, and then from there he begins the Decepticon movement. He kills a Prime, which is Sentinel Prime. You know, he also does that in Transformers 1. There is a freaking robot case system. There is. Put a pin on that. It becomes important later on. There is a case system. And he kind of dislikes what's happening or like what's being done to them. Mostly him. He's very egotistical at this point. He's very selfish. So he decides to declare his desire to conquer Cybertron. That's essentially the most important bits you need to know about Megatron Origins. It also includes how he meets his high command. Starscream, Soundwave, Shockwave. It's also there. Next would be Autocracy Trilogy. I actually did not read through all of this. I only read through the first one. I only read through Autocracy. Monstrosity and Primacy are kind of, I don't know. I didn't read them. Hold on. Let me check what Ken Prender said about this. So, Ken Prender described this as, it's made by a Blizzard writer, Chris Metzen. I think he's credited in a lot of World of Warcraft, story lore and stuff. So I read Autocracy. Yeah, he wrote these 3 books. So there's a lot of world building in here, but I only had the stomach to like read through Autocracy. I could not read Monstrosity and Primacy because I feel like they were moving in a different direction that was getting me way more confused. I came here to tell you we thirsted over Raiden's cyber booty during Revengeance, and I'm now ready to listen to teacher. Okay. Okay. What do I have on Autocracy? I don't really remember a lot of what happened in Autocracy aside from... Oh, if I remember correctly, in Autocracy, this is where they introduce... Before Optimus Prime became Optimus Prime, he was Orion Pax. He was an enforcer in a slum area, essentially. A slum area in Cybertron, and it's very corrupt. He's starting to see the corrupt system of the government, and he's like, we need to fix things, and we're gonna do it the right way. But it's not really working out. So he kind of works together with Megatron to stop what's happening. I think also Hot Rod was introduced in Autocracy, but I forget. It's been a while. And Sentinel is trying to harvest the sparks of the people in Nyon. If I remember correctly, it's this comic. Harvest the sparks of the people in Nyon to make like a super weapon. Essentially, he's using the life force or like the lives of Cybertronians to make a nuke, is what he's doing. And Megatron and Orion don't like that, so they try to stop it. They work together until Megatron decides, yeah, no, I don't wanna work with you because you want something. We both want the same thing. You can help me, but Orion is like, I don't want to help you do the thing that you want to do, even though we have the same end goal. And then they fight. And then they fight. Wasn't Autocracy the one with the twist that the Senator was helping Optimus? I'm not sure if this is where they introduced it. Some possibility implying that the Senator is helping Orion. Yeah. Is Sentinel just a bad guy in every universe? Thank you for asking. Because no. This is the first time it is in the IDW comics that they made Sentinel a fuck ass bitch. this is in the comics. This is where they introduced that idea, and then from then on, every iteration of Sentinel just becomes an asshole. Correct me, Stumbo. Was this also where Nyon ended up burning? But I forget. Either way, that's Autocracy. Pretty good read. If you are interested in lore or, reading up on Chris Metzen writing up Transformers lore, you can read these three. You could just read these. You could just read these three and not read anything else if you want to, actually. But I would recommend Autocracy. I did enjoy it, even if I did not like the art style. I don't like this gritty art style in Transformers. It's so hard to read. And Big, I gave up trying to read it. Good for you. I kept trudging on. Okay, so from then on, I now read Infiltration. This is issues 0 to 6. It kind of starts with a Autobot. It's the war of the Decepticons and the Autobots on Earth, but they are in hiding. It's way worse. What, the Skybound one? I like the art style of Skybound. It's stylized. I liked it. Unless they shifted to a new art style. Because I know Dan Mora and the artist that he's working with are no longer the main runners for the main Skybound title. Did they change artists again? Because that's a common thing that happens in comic books. They change artists. Anyway, Infiltration is the first part of the story. This is the mainline Transformers run is written by Simon Furman. There is a war on Earth with the Autobots and the Decepticons. It took me a bit to actually get through Infiltration. They shifted after the first card, if that's what you're asking. Okay. So like like I said, it took me a bit to go through this part of Infiltration because I literally cared for nobody in this comic. I cared about nobody. I cared about nobody. There was a lot of human characters. There was barely any Transformers in it. Even if they were all in hiding, and it was a lot of just making sure that they stayed hiding on Earth. But like looking back at it now, the characters here kind of grew on me. If I read it again, I feel like I would find it a little more enjoyable, but it's not a good if you came in here from Transformers 1 expecting to like read about robots and then you read about Infiltration and it's humans, like anyway, important things to note in Infiltration is that Starscream is cleaning shop. He's Starscream found like Ultra Energon on Earth and is trying to use it to usurp Megatron. And then Autobots' Infiltration team figures out that Starscream or some of the Decepticons are on Earth and they're trying to find out what that is. But because they are aliens in space, they are doing this in disguise. That's why it's called Infiltration and a Cold War. Earth does not know that they are here. Was it ever explained why Cybertronians turned into Earth vehicles? In Infiltration, yes. They turned into Earth vehicles so that they can hide. They can hide. That's it. They didn't explain how. They just explained why. So that they can hide. To protect themselves as well. And also that humans don't, kill them. So then, sometime around during these issues, Megatron arrives from outer space to beat Starscream's ass for insubordination. And at the tail end of the series, Machination, or a group of humans called the Machination, is essentially the Nest equivalent from Bayverse. If you remember watching the Bayverse movies, there is a military-specific group that is meant to hunt down Transformers, or at least contact Transformers, or the Cybertronians. Machination is that group. Next! Oh, great! Okay, I'm gonna introduce some characters. This is not gonna be consistent for all the other comic titles, but for this case, because they are important, Verity Carlo and Hunter Onion become really important later on. Verity Carlo is actually the only human character I absolutely loved in this series. She's great. Ultra Magnus will also think she's great later on. She becomes a wrecker later on. If I were to rank every human companion in every Transformer media, Verity Carlo would be up there. I really like her character. Jimmy Pink is a car technician. He just ends up getting roped into this. Hunter Onion, I don't really remember how he got roped into this, but he becomes important with Sunstreaker later and the whole headmasters thing. And then we have Ratchet. We have Ratchet when he still cared. When he still cared about what was happening in the goddamn war. He was technically like 1,000,000 years old, but he still cared. And these are his children. He will do anything for them. Also, funny thing, this is also the issue or the series that they introduced holo avatars. Essentially, aside from turning into human automobiles like Earth vehicles, they can also project a holo avatar so people don't get confused or get suspicious when these vehicles are driving themselves. These holo avatars, I don't remember if they're if you can touch them, like physically touch them, or they're just like holograms, something like that. It's funny because they all yes, yeah, they have VTubers essentially. They have Gijinkas, and it's funny because sometimes they don't like, say, think of it this way. If you've been a fan of Transformers, you have a certain idea of what these Transformers would look like if they turned to humans. The Transformers Gijinkas of themselves are kind of whack. They look different. Sometimes it doesn't even fit. It's so funny. Anyway, here are some screenshots. Again, this is not gonna be consistent for all of the issues that I will be putting here. I kind of ran out of steam by the end, but these are some of my favorite panels in the infiltration issue. This panel of Starscream where he's just telling Skywarp and Thundercracker to clean up shop and bomb like military bases. And then this shot with Verity and Megatron. This one is still very clear in my head. It will never escape my head. I really like this shot. It's like Verity is sneaking into a facility, and then she pops up a corner, and then Megatron is right there looming over her. Megatron looks at her. She's very scared, and Megatron just says, fuck it. I don't really care. I'm just gonna go back to work. And then there's also this part where Optimus finally arrives. At the very last issue with Infiltration, Optimus arrives on Earth. Oh, and also here, Megatron decides to shoot Starscream for insubordination. He survives this. Next, Stormbringer. There's gonna be a lot of jumping around in terms of time-wise in the timeline, but I am just following it through release date. So the next one would be Stormbringer. It's a flashback. It's all robots, no humans. Apparently, this is a response to the backlash of Infiltration. Infiltration, where it was a mix of humans and Transformers in like a Cold War. Nobody really cared about the humans. But in Stormbringer, it's just all robots now. However, the Autobots and the Decepticons are not at war. They are working together and then against each other. They like work together to put down a bigger threat, and then when Optimus and Megatron clashed their ideologies again, they kind of broke up. You know, yeah, they were together for a while and then they broke up because they were toxic to each other. So the only thing you need to know here is that in Stormbringer, they tell you how Cybertron becomes uninhabitable, that the war has, because of how uninhabited Cybertron has become, the war has moved on to other star systems. It's happening everywhere. There's splintered cells of Decepticons and Autobots in a planet fighting each other. There's another splinter cell in another area fighting each other. And then all of these splinter cells are actually being uh, controlled or headed by Optimus and Megatron. But either way, this is like that's unimportant. So in Stormbringer, there is a splinter cell of Decepticons that want to revive Thunderwing. Thunderwing is the reason why Cybertron is now uninhabitable. He essentially created a nuke, or he found he was becoming like a mad scientist thing, that he infused himself with organic matter and made him essentially immortal, if I remember correctly. He made himself immortal, and then, do I have that on my next page actually? Yes, I do. Okay, so there's this guy named Thunderwing. He's a Decepticon leader and a scientist. What he essentially did, like I said, he genetically modified or grafted himself with organic matter, and it turned him insane and damn near indestructible. So the Autobots and Decepticons banded to kill this motherfucker. Eventually leading to his death, which made Cybertron uninhabitable. And now everybody's out there fighting their war because they can't go back to Cybertron. That's about it. That's about it. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is also where I fell to my knees because this is my absolute most favorite design of Optimus ever. Look at his titty grails. His titty grails! And also the wheels on his shoulder. Fantastic. So there's this scene as well of like Megatron and Optimus. Megatron doesn't want Optimus to die because, you know, I'm not the one that killed you. So what are they called? Titty grails! I called them titty grails. You can climb on them. And also look at that absolute unit. Absolute unit. He also has like a lot of guns. He has a lot of guns. There's like guns on his thighs. There's guns on his shoulders. He has 2 blasters. 4 blasters on his back. And then he has like arm guns as well. He has a lot of guns. He means business. Okay, and then like after that, bro turned into a Gundam. After that would be Spotlight. It's a lot of character introductions. Most of them have important character motivations and plot points for later on. So we do have I was actually supposed to do this entire stream of just the timeline and tell you what I remember from each of the books that I read, but I ended up doing like a deep dive on everything based on the TF wiki. Anyway, so with the first one is Shockwave. Shockwave Spotlight tells you about Regenesis, or his grand plan of putting seeds of Energon Core seeds in like planets that he's been to be later harvested to provide Cybertron with an endless supply of Energon. So what essentially he's going to do is, I will plant a seed in this planet, let it flourish, and then when it's finally complete in flourishing, I will harvest it all, kill said planet, for the glory of Cybertron. That's what he did. That's what he did. In this Spotlight as well, it explains what happened to the Dinobots. And Shockwave and the Dinobots fought on Earth, like during the Cretaceous period, or the dinosaur period, and then the volcano explodes, it buries them all alive. This happens way in the past. It also explains why in Infiltration, a lot of the... Hello, Mino! Hello, Mino! Welcome to the stream. It also explains why a lot of the main, like the high-ranking officers, or like the high-ranking commandos of the Decepticons and the Autobots are not around. Particularly Shockwave and Soundwave. Because after the volcanic eruption, Shockwave disappears. The Decepticon high command kind of shatters Shockwave disappears, and he's only discovered by an archaeologist by 2006, which is, I think, around the timeline of Infiltration. And then we have Nightbeat. I remember Nightbeat. I don't remember a lot about the plot of this book. Nightbeat is a detective. He's an outlier. He essentially likes to solve things. That's why he's a detective. The only important thing I remember based on my readings on TF Wiki is the Dark Universe. That's all. That's the only thing you need to know. The Dark Universe. He discovers the Dark Universe, or at least the existence of one. And then we have Hot Rod. You know, soon to be Rodimus Prime. As you can see on the cover, he meteor surfs into a moon. The entirety of this comic is a flashback of him as a first-time commander, and that mission fails. The only important thing here is the teammate of his that survived, which is Dealer, and the Magnificence. Those are important plot points for later. And then we have Six Shot. I don't remember a lot about this. I really don't. Aside from the fact that Six Shot is one of the Decepticon experiments where he can transform into like 16 different things, and he's kind of insane as well. He's like a dog, not in a way that like he says arf arf and stuff. Megatron points to a thing that he wants dead, and then Six Shot just kills them. That's it. He's kind of like an assassin. There's also the Reapers, which I don't really remember a lot of, but they kind of want to kill this guy. That's all I remember. I am yapping about a lot of things right now, and I don't know if anybody can still follow. And then we have Ultra Magnus. It's just an introduction to Ultra Magnus as a enforcer of a war enforcer, where he hunts down both Autobots and Decepticons that commit war crimes. Which is like, you know, it should be everybody, but apparently there is a law book that states which is okay to do and which is not okay to do. And the list of the people that is part of that is not okay to do is pretty long. This includes Swindle and Scorponok. For the entirety of this, the only important thing here is the introduction of the Headmaster technology, made by Scorponok. Okay, last one. Soundwave. Soundwave's spotlight is him following the trail of Shockwave's disappearance on Earth. And then he finds out about Regenesis and then the Ultra Energon. And at some point, he battles it out with another sect or a splinter cell of Decepticons that want to revive Thunderwing. If you remember Thunderwing, this boy, they want to revive Thunderwing. And because of what happened last time, Soundwave was like, no. You shouldn't do that. So they fight. He ends up being stuck in cassette form after being hit by a prototype of Shockwave's inventions. So for the longest time, he's been on Earth for the longest time, stuck as a cassette player. He's owned by Jimmy Pink. I think it's implied that he was bought by Jimmy Pink in a store somewhere. And then Ravage and Laserbeak is captured by Machination. That's it. That's the only important thing you know. Okay, Escalation. The next part. It's like the next trilogy. Infiltration, Escalation, and then another one are trilogies. I don't remember a lot of this. As you can see, I don't remember a lot about this. The only thing you need to know is that Machination, or the human army that starts to realize, that knows that Cybertronians are on Earth, they start to fuck shit up. They kidnap Sunstreaker. This is Sunstreaker. They kidnap Sunstreaker, who is currently with Hunter Onion. Hunter is driving Sunstreaker. They get captured. They get kidnapped. Megatron takes Starscream's research and roids himself up with Or-13, which is the Ultra Energon. So Megatron is now kind of super powered. Again, he's as if he's not powerful enough. he makes himself way more powerful with Or 13. Facsimiles in the government. Facsimiles are think of body snatchers. The Decepticon decides to kidnap people in power, or politicians, or any military people, any human in a position of power, and replaces them with a clone that they can control, essentially. And this is where it gets a little confused. This is where it gets a little far-fetched for me, and it took me a while to finish Escalation. Was Megatron starts supporting a Soviet Union by becoming the gun. I think the guy's a facsimile, actually. The guy that he helps is a political person in one of the Soviet unions that he's trying to quote-unquote liberate to escalate the situation. And then... Why did I type it this way? Megatron Optimus's first sex scene. Why did I type it this way? Shockwave's back. Remember in Spotlight where it was implied that in 2006 he was discovered by a team of archaeologists? This is where it connects in Escalation. First, essentially, because what you see here, this is not a sex scene. It's just foreplay for them. What happens in Escalation is their first sex scene. Here it is. Okay, so they're fighting. This is Megatron and Optimus fighting like at the border of the Soviet Union country that they were in, and then like Megatron actually wins this fight. Was it both their first, or was it their first together? I don't know. I can't give you an answer. Essentially, Megatron was beating up Optimus. He beats him up a lot. So Megatron says, I'm just going to take hold of your spark core, and then he shoves his hand straight through Optimus's chest, grabs hold of his spark. Remember, sparks are their hearts. And then he squeezes. I really like this art style. And then they do this. Oh my god, they're so gay. This is how I like it, with emphasis on the like. Despite the long-range weaponry at my disposal, I prefer things up close and say the moment of another's passing, hold the secrets of life itself. He's so close to Optimus, who's shivering from the pain of having his heart clenched. It can be taken in another way, and I will not explain. I will not expound on what is happening. And then we have like another bunch of spotlights, another set of character introductions, for that will be important later on for Devastation, the next trilogy part of Infiltration and what was it? Infiltration and Escalation. The last bit. So with Coop, I don't remember much about this. It's just that there's zombies. There's zombies in it. There's zombies in it that might be related to the Dark Universe that is once again explored in the Galvatron Spotlight. And then with Optimus, it also explains a little bit of the first primes. Nova Prime, Nemesis Prime, J-Axis, and the introduction of combiners. This is where it happens. And also, it gives you an insight of Orion Pax, or Optimus Prime, disillusionment and resentment of the primacy. He becomes Prime, but he hates the Primes. So, you know. And then with Ramjet, I think the only thing I remember about this is that Ramjet thinks he can be Starscream and usurp Megatron. Of course, he's wrong about that. Megatron absolutely bodies him, tears him apart, and scatters his remains all over the globe. Which will be important later on, actually. I'm surprised it will, but it will be. It will be important later on. Next, we finally have Devastation. So Devastation is the last part of the whole Autobot Decepticon Cold War that's happening on Earth. I actually don't remember a lot about this again. I only very, 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 very much remember Infiltration because I absolutely found it boring. Everything else, though, I don't really remember. So I think the only important things to know is that Megatron calls for Six Shot, and then Six Shot absolutely fucks shit up on Earth. The Reapers that has been following Six Shot from his one shot comes in to beat the Decepticons by pure association with Six Shot. They're saying like, hey, murder is bad, so stop murdering people and other Transformers and disrupting the peace. You don't want to stop? Okay, we're gonna murder you so that you can stop. That's what the Reapers do, apparently. This is the only time we ever hear of the Reapers. We don't ever hear from them ever again. Anyway, and then the Headmasters by the Machinations is also introduced. So what happens with the Headmasters is that they take a Cybertronian, they copy their abilities, and turn humans into Transformers. The way that they do it is that think of like Iron Man going inside the Hulkbuster suit. It's kind of like that. But Hulkbuster, imagine if Hulkbuster suit turns into like a car. Oh my god. Hello, Mono. Machination again. Machination is a military group. The Hulk goes in Iron Monsters. Hello. So Machination is a military group that knows about the Transformers on Earth. And they tried to take the Cybertronian physiology of being able to transform themselves as cars to like big robot mechas. Going on the wrong thing first. And then the Headmasters is essentially, you say, like I said, I'm gonna use the same analogy. Imagine that Iron Man is like a mecha dude, right? Technically, he's a guy in a suit. The Headmasters are the same. The Headmasters are people wearing a mechanical suit that is able to become the head of a Transformer's body, which in this case is the Hulkbuster suit. You know what? Yeah, basically Warhammer. Yeah, basically Warhammer, but the way that they're seated, the way that they control the body is by becoming the head of the robot. That's Headmasters. And then so now with Devastation, we're now slowly veering into a full-on war on Earth with the Decepticons and Autobots. Because like in the previous issues, they were just fighting amongst themselves. Earth is not technically involved. They just happened to be on Earth when that was happening. Thank you for the hydrate. Also, the Dinobots are back. And then the Dark Universe Invasion, which is like, I don't really like the Dark Universe. Oh! Putang ina, magtatagalog tayo. Okay, bayang maghilot. Sana maintindihan niyo yung explanation ko mamaya. Ayun, so yung Dark Universe, hindi ko talaga gusto yung, Dark Universe na plotline, but wala akong magagawa. Andiyan na siya eh. Sabi ko nga, Phase 1 ng IDW, sobrang gulo niya. Sobrang gulo niya. It was like, ang hirap niyang basahin. To be honest. Ang hirap niyang basahin. Okay. Yung Headmasters pala ng Machination, remember when I said in this one, Machination kidnaps Sunstreaker and Hunter, Onion? Dito sa Devastation, they become Headmasters. It is so fucking horrible. Isipin mo na tino-torture nila si Sunstreaker para makuha nila lahat ng information about Cybertronians or Autobots and Decepticons. Tapos, nga, Pilipino ito! Nakakabit sa ulo niya. Like, sobrang daming wires. Tapos, kinukuha lang nila lahat ng information, yung physiology niya. Wala siyang autonomy. Like, wala siyang magagawa. They cut off his head. Tinanggal nila yung ulo niya para magamit nila yung katawan niya. Or like, kinopy nila yung katawan, Kinopy nila yung katawan ni Sunstreaker, tapos lahat ng headmasters, they use the same, ginagamit nila yung parehong model ni Sunstreaker. And the way that they, tapos nakakontrol nila, autonomy nga ng Tagalog, hindi ko din alam eh. Hindi ko din alam autonomy ng Tagalog eh, autonomy. Autonomy! Tapos si Hunter, labag sa kalooban niya, naging headmaster din siya. So, ang tinatry niyang gawin ngayon is pakawalan si Sunstreaker. Tapos meron din kasi silang, the way that it works, para sila ngayong may internal connection with each other. Meron silang Bluetooth connection sa isa't isa. Bakit ako naka-unfollow ngayon lang na-notice? May weird thing ang may weird thing ang Twitch na minsan ina-unfollow ka niya. Hindi ko talaga na-gets. Anyway, Devastation, may another set of spotlights tayo. I think hindi ko to na-edit. Anyway, again, another set of introductions. Puro na naman siya introductions, tas ang makilala natin dito si RC, si Mirage, tsaka si Willy. Introduction ni Willy, I don't think, feeling ko hindi siya importante kasi dinaaran ko lang siya. Like, I was not interested. Hindi ako interesado sa kwento ni Willy at all. Pero magiging important siya later on sa story ni Optimus Prime. Pero like, whatever. Don't really need to know. Ang importante sa akin dito, si RC. Si Mirage din hindi masyado important eh. Pero, yung story niya, if I remember, or naalala ko ng maayos, it had, it implied na the whole multiverse thing. Medyo in-imply nila sa spotlight ni Mirage. With RC, I found this spotlight. Tagalog. Sobrang badass ni RC. Yun lang gusto ko sabihin. Bago ko basahin yung IDW comics, ang introduction ko kay RC was from the Bayverse RC. And then, doon sa Bayverse RC, medyo kasi siya eh, medyo parang G1-esque type siya. So, very female-coded, very, mabait, ganon. A bit of a badass, pero none of them compares to RC in IDW comics. Meron din naman sa Transformers Prime, pero magkaiba yung pagka-badassery nila eh. Medyo, Tapos, nabasa ko din doon sa reading list ni Ken Prenders na apparently may backlash nung comic na to. I love RC so much. Oh my god, I love my women Transformers. Right? I also love RC and IDW. Pero apparently, nagkaroon ng backlash nung spotlight na to. Cause, apparently, yung writer, Simon Furman, yung lead writer ng Phase 1 ng Transformers, did not like it that RC was a female robot. And he wanted, and gusto niya may specific na rason, or like there is a good reason kung bakit may nag-iisang natatanging babaeng Transformer or Cybertronian in a generally male-dominated storyline sa Transformers, essentially. So, what he did is that ang ginawa niya kay RC, were there a queen robot in Transformers that corrupted Optimus? That's Quintessa. Quintessa is not a Transformer. Quintessa is a Quintesson. That's a different ballpark. We're not gonna talk about that. Quintessons exist in IDW, but like that's a different whole fucking ballpark. Anyway, dito inintroduce na RC used to be a male presenting Transformer. I think may kapatid siya. I think magkapatid sila ni Galvatron here in IDW. Magkapatid sila ni Galvatron, which is to like a woman having so much will and power. Tapos nun, for the entirety of Spotlight, is that Jyaxus is a mad scientist na also mentor ni Shockwave. He wants to create female Transformers. So what he ends up doing is he modifies RC's body from a male-presenting Transformer or a male-presenting Cybertronian to a female-presenting Cybertronian. This absolutely fucks with RC. She wants to kill Jyaxus. That's it. That's the entirety of her Spotlight. She wants to find Jaxus to kill this motherfucker, who essentially made her a trans transformer, a trans femme presenting Cybertronian against her will. And then kay Mirage, I don't know really where this fits. I just know that Mirage here has like a vision where he's a Autobot and then a vision where he's a Decepticon. I guess it kind of implies the multiverse. And then with Wheelie, like I said, I don't really remember much about this. Just that Wheelie becomes a character later on in Optimus' storyline. The Revelation arc, another set of spotlights or characters. This was a hard set to read. We have Cyclonus, Hardhead, Double Dealer, and Sideswipe. Cyclonus is just a lot of these introduce the Dark Universe. the Dark Universe plotline that's going to happen later on. With Cyclonus, he's a follower of the First Primes. He got stuck in the Dark Universe. Hardhead, I don't remember what happened here. Double Dealer is related to Hot Rod's spotlight. It's revealed that he is working for the Autobots and the Decepticons, and his goal is to find not the Enigma. Magnificence that Hot Rod and his team died to get. So, well, his team. Hot Rod's still alive. Generally, I do wish they'd somewhat tackle this topic back, except for it's a new character in business rewrite the existing character story, right? Like, I love RC. I also love trans representing characters, but how they tackled it is, yeah, exactly. Like, RC was already I agree. I didn't even realize that it was at the time that it was released, that the fandom didn't like how they turned RC into like a literal trans character in the show. It watered down who she is. Agreed. Like, she's already badass. Let her be badass on her own. If she wanted to become like a femme presenting transformer later on, then good on her. Because for the majority of Phase 1, she was struggling with the fact that she's now a femme presenting transformer. She hated it. But then later on, when more femme transformers were introduced, she started to accept the fact that she was. And it feels wrong. Because, you know, she's a male presenting transformer first, and then she was forced to become trans. And I'm like, oh, I can see what the problem there is. And RC is in G1 the first female transformer introduced in the show. So a lot of females or a lot of women that saw themselves or like projected onto RC because they liked the show and she was the only available female transformer then. Because like, yeah. Ayun nga, it's the fact that she was forced to be as well. This is why I understand why she wants to kill Jaxus. I understand her pain. I think also in this set of comics, the only important thing you need to know is that RC finally kills Jaxus. Quote unquote kills. Nobody stays dead in IDW. Yun nga, Dealer's allegiance to the Decepticons and why he's following around Hot Rod. Oh, Hot Rod also kills him, I think, because he finds out about the betrayal. Next, the Dinobots. This is a Dinobot-centric issues. I don't remember a lot about this. It did start with the spotlight heading immediately to All Hail Megatron. So Grimlock, following from Devastation when they were unearthed from where they fought when they fought with Shockwave. They're back online. They're having a fight because apparently Grimlock betrayed the Dinobots. I still don't quite understand why or like what the reason was they were fighting, but they have a big family fight. Shockwave is alive. Shockwave is back in play. Soundwave is also freed. Ultra Magnus arrests. I think he arrests Shockwave and Grimlock. I'm not sure about Shockwave, but I'm sure he arrests Grimlock. Sunstreaker and Hunter are finally separated from being headmasters. This gives them both big trauma. They're both traumatized by this. All hail Megatron! I did not know this was a soft relaunch. I just found out while I was making this PowerPoint. I really like All Hail Megatron. Compared to like the past ones that I've been talking about, Infiltration was okay. I probably would like it now when I read it again, but everything else was kind of, you can not read that. All Hail Megatron is really good though. I really like this one. So we now have a new writer. The new writer is now Shane McCarthy. We don't have Simon Furman now. So what he did was kind of softly relaunch the series by going back to the base roots of G1, which is just robots fighting on Earth. However, doing that kind of fucked with the continuity, and it is here at this point where I was trying to figure out like plot threads from Simon Furman's run and trying to figure out what the fuck is happening now. And you know what? Apparently I'm not the only one that got confused, because everybody was confused. Okay, so we have Sunstreaker. Sunstreaker betrays the Autobots because of what happened to him and Hunter. He's very traumatized, but from the Headmaster's debacle, he doesn't like humans, so he's like, okay, I'm still an Autobot, but I'm giving the Decepticons the weapon or like the information that they need to kind of get back at the humans. I heard Obi-Wan was a Transformer. Was he? Is he? How so? Hello, Swaggy Star. Swaggy Star. Swaggy Star. Hello, welcome to the stream. I'm Sushi's local overworked red panda. I work as a variety waitress in the morning. Wrong. I work as an izakaya waitress in the morning and a certified variety streamer and yapper at night. I like Transformers. As you can see, I am doing a lore dump on all of the IDW comics for Febformers month, because instead of doing like anything related to Valentine's or anything related to love, I'm just doing this where I just talk about Transformers and play some Transformers game and build a Transformer this month. There's an entire Transformers wiki and Obi-Wan has a page. What? He has a page there? He has a page in TF Wiki? Let me hit that up. Obi-Wan TF Wiki. Let me see that. Oh my god, he does! Why is this here? Oh my god! He is a Transformer! Star Wars Transformers. Holy shit. He turns into a fighter. He turns into a TIE fighter. A starfighter. Oh, that's cool. I didn't even know there was an intersect of my two interests. Will I read that? I feel like I won't. But either way, All Hail Megatron is, ayun nga, Sunstreaker betrays the Autobots. It's a full-scale invasion. Because of that, Decepticons are able to do a full-scale invasion of Earth. They quote-unquote win. Oh god. Megatron and Optimus fight again. And Optimus loses. My gosh, he's like 2 for 2 now. Megatron has defeated Optimus twice in this entire run so far. Starscream attempts to commit another mutiny despite in devastation. Megatron has punched a hole through his chest. He lives, like I said, he lives, and he tries to commit another mutiny. While the Autobots and the Decepticons are fighting in New York, the United Nations, the European Union decides to nuke New York. This is literally the one thing I remember in All Hail Megatron. They fight. The governments of the world decide to nuke New York. Thundercracker has a change of heart. He redirects the nuke out into space, saving New York. But humans now hate the Cybertronians because a lot of people died. a lot of people died. Oh, also, I think it also happens here. Or maybe it's in the other part. But I might correct myself if I'm wrong. No, it's not here. It's not here. Yeah. Megatron wins. Decepticons now own Earth. So another set of spotlights. I did not change it again. Oh my god. Another set of spotlights. Blur is just a story of him, how he became an Autobot. It gives you a little bit of backstory of how Starscream was doing recruitment for the Decepticon cause. He tried to recruit Blur, but Blur was like, nah, that ain't for me. And then during the war, Blur decides to join the Autobot faction. Ito, Jazz's spotlight. I don't remember anything about Jazz's spotlight. And then we have Drift, who apparently was an original character. This is the first time Drift has ever been introduced in the Transformers lore. He did not exist in G1. This is the first time he's popping up. And actually, most of the spotlights of Drift, or like the stories of Drift, kind of merged together in my head. But I think this is just introducing him after he defected from Decepticons and he returned to being Drift. Cliff Jumper, I have zero memory. Metroplex. This might be the first time Titans are introduced in IDW comics. I think. I don't remember a lot about these spotlights. Anyway, the next half of All Hail Megatron. All the issues in the last half of All Hail Megatron kind of just merge in my head. I had to read through TF Wiki to figure out what was happening. So, oh! Yeah, okay, this is where it is. I say that nothing of note really happens here, but after the war in New York, Starscream, I think Starscream once again commits loyalty or admits his loyalty to Megatron, and then they abscond to the moon. I'm sorry, there's like snot in my nose. They abscond to the moon. Starscream is suffering from success. Wait, did I miss a part? I don't remember if... Oh yeah, at this point, I don't remember what happened in the previous issues, but Optimus again loses, but I think at some point, he also kind of turns back on Megatron, and Megatron's almost dead. Starscream pops in, saves Megatron, and then Optimus is like, why are you saving him? If he dies, you're the leader of the Decepticons now. And then Starscream's like, nah, I will be, but this is not the way I want to become the leader. So he absconds and the rest of the Decepticons absconds to the moon. Starscream is now leader of the Decepticons. He's suffering from success because none of the Decepticons want to follow his ass. The formation of Skywatch. So this is another form of military against the Cybertronians. So what Machination was at the beginning is now Skywatch. And also, Spike Witwicky would like to introduce himself. He is a human. Yes, he's human. Witwicky. I guess he's based off the G1 Spike Witwicky. The child companion that the Transformers have, or the Autobots have in the G1 series. He's very different from here. Spike Witwicky is possibly the greatest villain in Prowl's life. Transformers Drift. So another set of mini issues circled on Drift. Apparently, I said that it runs very vividly in my mind. Drift is actually a really good OC. Not gonna lie. Apparently, he's just an OC. By... I don't remember who made him. But he is an OC, and I really enjoyed this issue. Oops, sorry. This issue. It tells you a little bit of his tenure as Deadlock. How high up he is in, like, the Decepticon ranks. He was essentially sharing right-hand position with Starscream. With how often, like, how highly regarded he is by Megatron. And then he defects. He crash lands. He crash lands in a desolate planet where he finds the Circle of Light. The Circle of Light is a sect of neutral Cybertronians that escaped Cybertron while the war was happening. They wanted to stay away from war as far as possible. They are also very religious to the point that Drift starts becoming religious because he finds the way. He learns of the way and begins his redemption. It's kind of like a samurai arc, actually. This entire issue is kind of like a samurai arc. And then finally, we reach the main meat of the first phase. The Transformers, the mainline series. Issues 1 to 3 only. Pretty simple. The war between Autobots and Decepticons is quote-unquote over. Skywatch and Spike Witwicky are now going around the Earth to hunt down every single Cybertronian that they can. The Autobots are also hiding because Earth wants them gone. We people cannot tell the difference between an Autobot and a Decepticon. All we know is that they went to Earth. The Decepticons started invading every other fucking country. They fought. A lot of people died. We don't want them here. That's the whole thing. That's why they're in disguise again. Prowl begins his beef with Spike Witwicky. I fuck it up. I love the beef between Prowl and Spike Witwicky. Optimus enters his depression arc. It's very fucking funny. Essentially, because of what Skywatch is doing, hunting down every Cybertronian, regardless of their faction, Optimus thinks, or starting to think, that every decision he made from this point onward is just leaving them for scraps. Essentially, he's guilty that in staying in Earth. Oh no, wait. Let me rephrase that. Oh, new writer na rin pala to. There's a new writer for the mainline series. This is now by Mike Costa. What happens is that it's a bit messy. This entire run is a bit messy. Although the first few issues were very good. They were pretty solid. So yun nga, Skywatch. What happens is that if you watch the Bravers movies, particularly Age of Extinction, where the military hunts down every fucking Transformer, doesn't matter if it was like Ratchet, they gun them down. You know, they capture and sometimes accidentally kill Cybertronians. Spike Witwicky, trauma center for Prowl. All of Prowl's worst traits going forward is because of this man. It's because of him. He has traumatized Prowl so much. And then again, Optimus is in his depression arc. At this point, he doesn't have the Matrix anymore. Starscream has it. Megatron and Starscream took it to the moon with them. He doesn't have the Matrix. He doesn't want to be leader anymore because the war is over, quote unquote. He surrenders himself to Skywatch so that at least the Skywatch would stop hunting down his Autobots, you know, to protect them. So he makes himself target number 1. Now that Optimus has stepped down as the leader of the Autobots, Bumblebee and Hot Rod fight for the title of leader. They vote for it democratically. Bumblebee wins. Hot Rod leaves. He just wants to go back to Cybertron now that the war is over. Also, Ultra Magnus is back on Earth. He's following descent of war criminals, which is Swindle. He's following Swindle. Okay, Transformers Bumblebee. This is where Bumblebee starts becoming an important part of the comics lore. Bumblebee starts to struggle as a Autobot leader. I remember being very, very frustrated at this series because Bumblebee keeps making shit decisions. Like, I get it. He's not made for leadership. Everybody voted him to be the leader. I really don't know why they voted him to be leader. I guess having to choose between him and Hot Rod. Hot Rod is very impulsive. He doesn't do a lot of things. He doesn't think about other people or other Cybertronians when he does the things that he does. Also, as the one that one mission that he was on as his first commander duty in his spotlight, everybody dies. I guess nobody trusts him. Bumblebee, on the other hand, is a people pleaser, so everybody likes him. He's suffering from success. He makes shit decisions, like Starscream. They are both suffering from success. He and Starscream are now both the leader of their factions. Starscream can't get the sympathy of his fellow Decepticons to recognize him as leader. Meanwhile, Bumblebee is being recognized as leader, but he's very flaky. He makes the wrong decisions. The very first of which is that Bumblebee agrees to help Skywatch capture Decepticons, and then this faction of Skywatch gives them like badges to quote-unquote hide their signature from the real Skywatch, or the Skywatch that wants them dead. And this badge ends up backfiring because it's a trap. It traps them into their alt modes, essentially. Thundercracker! Okay, the next issues from 4 to 6. Thundercracker's back. So remember, in like All Hail Megatron, he decides to defect, essentially. He's like, not really defecting, but like, he saved New York. He doesn't want to nuke New York. So he's now obsessed with television and humanity. But like at this point in the comics, Thundercracker has immediately become my favorite character. Because like, my favorite panel in this issue where he's the main focus, he starts to realize that despite being able to live for like 100+ years as a Cybertronian, they don't learn anything as a species. It's just war. In their, I don't know how long they've been fighting. I'm just gonna say like with Transformers Prime. In Transformers Prime, they've been fighting for 4 million years. So I would assume that it's the same here. It's like 1 million years of fighting. They haven't figured out how to like at least have a ceasefire. To talk to each other. Figure out how the hell are we gonna rekindle Cybertron and all that stuff. They haven't learned anything. They just keep fighting each other. Meanwhile, humanity, in their short lifespan, has learned to hunt them down and kill them in the blink of an eye. Because ever since they were revealed in Devastation and the entirety of All Hail Megatron, it's been 3 years since they were invaded. They've learned to disable or immobilize Cybertronians. They now have weapons strong enough to kill them. And yeah, it's pretty interesting. I like that it's Thundercracker that makes this, or like gets this revelation. And then, more important things here is that Hot Rod and Swindle are now working together to get out of here. He just wants to go back to Cybertron. This works badly for him because he's angry at Optimus. He's angry at Optimus for, surrendering. He's angry at Bumblebee because, he becomes the leader instead of him. He stupidly believes Swindle and the other Decepticons that approach him with his ship to like leave the planet and just go back to Cybertron. They become very chummy. It's one of those turning points for Hot Rod, because he ends up trusting a lot of people that ends up backstabbing him. We have Double Dealer from his spotlight, and now Swindle. Swindle's Hot Rod by calling him Rodimus, feeding his ego that's saying, hey, everybody's calling you Rodimus Prime because you're way more of a leader than Bumblebee is. This backfires because apparently Swindle has been working on to make his own combiner, which is Menasor. And then Ultra Magnus pops in there, tries to capture Swindle, saying, you're under arrest. And then he's also arresting Hot Rod for betrayal, because he's working with Decepticons even though the war is over. And Hot Rod is saying, you can't arrest me under those charges. The war is over. The factions are over. You can't arrest me for that. Regardless, Ultra Magnus arrests him, and then that's the time when Bumblebee finally steps up and defends him. Hot Rod takes Ultra Magnus's ship and leaves Earth, because that's the one that's what he wanted to do. He leaves Earth, and now Bumblebee is widely regarded as the leader of the Autobots. Yeah. Prowl. Oh my god. The the best Prowl story there is in the comics, I believe. It also shows his slow character descent. Oh my god. IDW Prowl is such the biggest fucking asshole. This is the most Prowl I've ever read, or like I've ever seen Prowl in the comics. This is the closest I'll ever be to liking him. So, it's like I feel like I should read it again, because again, it feels like the most Prowl I've seen Prowl or read Prowl to be Prowl in this entire IDW comic line. Before he became my most hated character. Like, I understand where his pragmatism comes from, especially like later on into the story. But damn, it's so the character descent, amazing. But my god, it's all because of Spike Witwicky. Spike Witwicky shakes fist. So this is a backstory of Prowl during the year of this guy's. He's disguised on Earth as a police car. This was immediately after All Hail Megatron. He broke cover twice, once to save a girl, and then the other a Decepticon that Skywatch was about to murder. There is like an inner monologue in here where he tries to move past his TACnet thinking, because he is an enforcer. He was also an enforcer on Cybertron, and his entire shtick is to be he has an overpowered brain, essentially. He has a computer brain that is capable of figuring out as much as possible any possibility that can happen. He crunches the numbers and he makes the decision based on those numbers. And he wants to stop being that kind of person. But in this spotlight, after he stops the murder of that Decepticons, he kind of just gives up, and he keeps going down. He doubles down on becoming the number crunching guy. He now says that if I have to choose between like one person's life, or like between Earth and Cybertron, regardless of faction, I would choose Cybertron. Or I would choose to protect Cybertronians regardless of faction. So he now starts his whole the end justifies the means mentality. Last Stand of the Wreckers. Okay. If anybody has ever read the comics, I know that this is a widely beloved comic series by the fandom. Unfortunately, when I was reading this, I wasn't attached to anybody. I didn't like Last Stand of Wreckers. But I should probably read it again. The only important thing you need to know about the Last Stand of Wreckers is the Garrus 9 invasion. Garrus 9 and their subsequent liberation. Garrus 9 is a Autobot prison where they put most of their troubled Autobots that have done war crimes. It has the Aquitas device, which is essentially judge, jury, and executioner. It judges you based on your guilty percentage or something. Like, it's an AI killing machine. Okay? They go here to Garrus 9 ordered by Prowl, because Overlord has taken over Garrus 9. Overlord is a 6-phaser, like 6-shot. He's insane. He's another one of Megatron's war dogs. He points at a certain direction, and they just fuck shit up. So Overlord is he's sadistic, He's very sadistic. He enjoys watching people kill each other. So he essentially turns Garrus 9 into a gladiator's pit. And he has a hero worship for Megatron. He's kind of doing all of this to get his attention, but Megatron doesn't really care much about Overlord, I think. Out of the 3 6-phasers, I think 6-Shot is Megatron's favorite. He doesn't care much for Overlord. It's also in here where Verity Carlo returns as a wrecker. Because remember when Ultra Magnus was on Earth? Apparently, Verity Carlo stowaways on his ship. And the relationship that Verity and Magnus actually has is very, very adorable. Verity Carlo becomes Ultra Magnus's daughter. He even made her a an Iron Man suit, essentially. Oh, wait, hold on, I need to drink. He made her an Iron Man suit so that she can breathe and move around in space. And then, like, he loved her so much that in the future, Ultra Magnus's holoform in More Than Meets the Eye is actually Verity. It's like, okay, they kill a lot of characters here. This is why I also wasn't attached with anybody. Because they kill half of the Wreckers. Essentially, they're like the Suicide Squad that prowl through to Garrus 9 so that they can liberate Garrus 9. Particularly to get the Aquitas device. Or make sure that Overlord doesn't know what's inside the Aquitas device. Overlord, this is also where Overlord is captured. That is very, 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 very important. You have to remember that. Infestation. Ah, man. I hated this one. I hated Infestation. It came out of nowhere. I know that I've been mentioning the Dark Universe for like a while now, but Infestation was such it was so shit. I didn't like this. Zombies. That's essentially it. There's zombies here. They fight the zombies. It's stupid, but it's important, and I hate it. The Dead Universe has zombies. What? Oh, my monster drink. Get it out, get it out. Hello, Comet Doc. Welcome to the stream. Oh, so they have zombies. Everyone, even Galvatron, wants to stop the zombies. He uses the Heart of Darkness, which is funny because whenever I hear the words heart and darkness at the same time, I think about Kingdom Hearts, but it's nowhere even related to Kingdom Hearts. So what happens is that, yeah, you know, Heart of Darkness. Robot zombies, yeah, but they're not important. The robot zombies are not important. This entire run is shit. Look, the only important thing here is Galvatron, the Dead Universe, that where he came from, where the zombies came from, the darkness, and I think Coop dies. But I might be wrong. Oh, the zombies that Coop fought in his spotlight, it's revealed that they were actually hallucinations. No. You know what? I don't remember. I really don't remember. I think Coop dies in this one. It's bullshit. Transformers 7 to 9, the international incident. Holy shit. Okay, this is the part where I start kind of drifting away from IDW because it's a fucking fever dream. Okay, it's genuinely funny every time a government or a JFK moment happened in this, like, issues 7 to 12. I cannot begin to explain to you how funny everything was happening. Like, I legit do not know. I had to power through this because it was so absurd. Okay, Megatron's alive again. That's the only thing you need to know. He's alive again. Bombshell has a prototype mind control Cerebro shell. Mind control shell. Someone tries to assassinate Starscream with said Cerebro shell. I think it was Hot Rod. Spike is a fucking menace. It's a slur. Thundercracker, my beloved, Thunder beloved, Bumblebee is assassinated by a suspicious-looking gun. I will backtrack. Okay, I have a very vivid memory of this entire thing because, as you can see, it says the International Incident. Why is it called the International Incident? It's because the Cybertronians end up becoming mercenaries for the big three countries at war, or like the superpowers, the superpowered countries on Earth. They sort of become mercenaries because the Autobots are working together with the American government. They kind of work for America, and they sort of help with pacifying other wars out there that America is currently part of. The Decepticons are working for North Korea, and the Predacons are working for the Chinese. I know it sounds weird, but oh god, just look at this. Just look at this. When I saw this panel, I legit put down my iPad and walked around for a bit. It was like, why the hell do we have Chinese Transformers? Apparently they're the Predacons. I didn't even know we had Predacons in the IDW. They just existed. And they working for China. Your little skirmish is coming dangerously close to the border of the Great Republic of China. May her people last 1,000 years. They got indoctrinated by China. But anyway, the Decepticons are working for North Korea. The Autobots, just because they were in America during the war, they are now working with the Americans. Yeah. I don't know. It was funny. It was so funny. And then the reason why Spike is a fucking menace, it's at this point in the story where Spike murders one of the Constructicons, Scrapper, the leader of the Decepticons, leader of the Constructicons. He murders him in cold blood. He doesn't even use any of the gadgets or like any of the weapons that Skywatch has made or has produced to immediately immobilize or kill a Cybertronian. No. Spike found Scrapper. Bunny was begging to be taken into custody. He was surrendering. And like, Spike still kills him. He does it in his own head. He does it so that Devastator would never be complete again. Because during the war for New York... Oh. I didn't even know. During the Battle of New York, Devastator killed a lot of people. So Spike's motivation here now is if I take out one of the Constructicons, if he takes out one of the Constructicons, the Devastator will never form again. The important things here are Scrapper is dead. Spike killed Scrapper. The Bombshell has a mind control Cerebro Shell. And then Bumblebee... Oh, wait, hold on. There's also like Thundercracker. Thundercracker also becomes important. He's back again. I think Bumblebee tries to recruit him as an Autobot. But Thundercracker's just like having fun with his telenovelas. He's just having fun with his telenovelas and making his own script. He's writing movies now. And then Bumblebee, while in a press release of like that he's the leader now, we exist, and yada yada yada, he is assassinated by a suspicious looking gun. A gun that looks exactly like Megatron's Walter P96, 1986 gun looking? Okay. Before I continue though, I do need to go to the washroom real quick. So I will be right back. It's break time! Come here. Come closer, come closer. Touch. Touch. Good boy. Touch. Touch it. Come on, good boy. Good boy. Thank you. Red Panda, live with you today to play some Dispatch. I totally did not
had to reset the stream after we finished playing Spider-Man, that we had to continue after last night, after the little power outage last night, and I totally didn't stream. Like I didn't restart the stream because Stream Elements was doing a little bee boo pee poo. So yes, welcome to the stream. Like rightfully. Oh, isn't this the vine that we climbed to the last time?
Anong nangyayari? What is happening? Anong ginagawa natin? Ay! Teka, saan ko lalagay to? Asan yung... Guys, asan yung baso? The male fans who love Transformers, okay? No, I don't deserve that. I don't deserve that. I don't deserve that. I don't deserve a steel chair. I would like to lick some steel, you know? I'm kidding. I'm stuck. I'm stuck under the trees. My bad, you won't hear it again. My bad. Genius? Type your name and press enter. Ya baby.
Hey.
What did I do? Oh no! Oh no!
What you have?
Okay, fine. Am I gonna get rich with money?
No.
Damn!
It was an unsure answer at first, and it's just like,
No. Okay, will I get rich in quality time with Kiwi? I'm right here. Ayo! I'm back! Okay, I just needed to go to the bathroom real quick. Well, now I'm back. Which means we get to continue! I don't know how much longer. Hello, Block the Bee. Welcome to the stream. I'm Sushi's local overwork red panda. I work as an izakaya waitress in the morning and a certified variety streamer and yapper at night. I like playing single story, narrative type games, and I also really like Transformers. That's why we today are yapping about the entire lore of the IDW Transformers comics. Because that is my, that is what I wanted to do. For the rest of February, we have Febformers month, and I just talk about Transformers, play some Transformers games, and also possibly next week I think I'm building Flame Toys Rodimus Prime. IDW Rodimus Prime. Anyway, moving on. So we are now currently in the Transformers Ironhide story. It is 4 issues long. I don't remember a lot about this. I do know that this is set back in Cybertron after the war. The only thing I remember about this is that Ironhide is resurrected by Alpha Trion. I don't know when he died, but he died and he's alive now. Sunstreaker is also alive with a pet Insecticon named Bob, and Metroplex. I think sometime along the mainline Transformers. Oh no, I think it was during All Hail Megatron. Bob, yeah, Bob. Sometime along All Hail Megatron, when Optimus was gravely injured by Megatron, they returned to Cybertron for a while. And then, they were doing their last stand in Cybertron, because, like, there's a lot of quote-unquote zombie-fied there's an Insecticon invasion in Cybertron. I don't really remember in the timeline what happened, but I just know that they're in Cybertron at this point. Next, mainline. Oh my god, my husband, Stealth Bomber Megatron, is finally here. I remember this set of issues because of that. Okay, so Megatron kills Hot Rod or Rodimus. Do not worry. he survives it because the Matrix, he actually manages to steal the Matrix. Hot Rod manages to steal the Matrix from Starscream during his attempt at assassination. And then the Matrix keeps him alive. Sometime later in the future issues, this keeps him alive long enough to be given the moniker of Rodimus Prime by the other people or the other Cybertronians that see him walking around with the Matrix. Anyway, everybody gets a Walter P-38, which is, yes, Megatron's alt mode. Soundwave is mass-producing Megatron's alt mode, the gun, to destabilize the Autobot presence on Earth. And if you remember back then in Ramjet's Spotlight, where Megatron pieced them apart and threw his body all over the Earth. Yeah, humans are now finding all of these parts and crafting their own weapons against Cybertronians by using dead body parts of Ramjet. That's what's happening. Okay, and the gun mode, the different guns that Soundwave has mass produced, he's giving it away to humans who hate Cybertronians. And also, did I mention the guns has the mind control powers that Megatron has, or like has the influence of? Wait, what was that? I don't know when they introduced that in G1. If they were introduced in G1, I know Skybound used it. Whenever Megatron is in his pistol form or his Walter P-38 form, his gun mode, he has the ability to overwrite He has the ability to control. He has the ability to control the person that is holding him. So essentially, you might be using him as a weapon, but he's only using you to shoot. He's telling you who to shoot. He's mind controlling you to point and shoot. He's still the one in charge. I wonder who would win, Ultron or Megatron? Ultron from Marvel or Ultraman? Who are we talking about? So the Thundercracker, once again, the fucking GOAT. Thundercracker is everywhere here, becoming like the one key ingredient. The one key ingredient to win everything. Yep, Marvel. Who would win? Ultron or Megatron? I feel like sheer number, and because Ultron can just jump bodies with his androids, he might win out of sheer number. But also, Megatron is not gonna take that lying down. He will kill himself to end Ultron. He will exhaust himself to kill Ultron. So, I'm biased. Megatron, I suppose. Okay. Remember, I don't know if you remember, but if you have been here for a long while and I've been talking about Transformers, I keep telling you about this one panel where Optimus crashes out, yells at Megatron and says, "Look, why won't you ever fucking die? I cannot kill you because you're saying you're indestructible right now. So instead of shooting you, I will shoot Soundwave." And also, the one that kind of broke my heart, man. Jazz becomes a war criminal. That's just sad. The reason why he becomes a war criminal is, he tries, somebody was holding the Megatron gun, and he was pointing it at another Cybertronian. And at this point, Jazz is... Oh, he was pointing it at Bumblebee, I think. He was pointing it at Bumblebee, and Jazz is currently hiding as a vehicle, and he overreacts. He overreacts before the guy can shoot at Bumblebee, and absolutely obliterates the guy holding the gun. So he's now killed a human. The Autobots kind of cannot protect him. Humans want him dead because he killed a human. They want him gone. They want him dead. So here it is. Oh, my absolute favorite panels. Look at him, the absolute unit that he is. Stealth Bomber Megatron is so hot. I'm really glad that I managed to find a Thrilling 30 series. Stealth Bomber Megatron, he's currently on my shelf. He's a lot smaller than I thought he was going to be, but I just particularly like this design of Megatron. So at this point, ayan, so now Megatron and Optimus are like, yeah, he's buff. It's a great design. So right here, like, he's saying, in short term, he and Optimus are talking. Megatron is saying that he can feel every piece or every human that is currently holding on to a gun made from his old body, like from his old frame. And then like Optimus is saying, well, you need to fucking stop. And then Megatron goes, you know, don't embarrass yourself. You know you can't kill me. Not in this indestructible new frame that I am currently wearing. And then Optimus goes, yeah, okay, I know. And then he shoots Soundwave. And then Megatron gets absolutely blasted. Like, hey, okay, stop. Stop. Stop it. I'm gonna go. That's what he does. Oh, that's gore of someone's favorite character. And also the Megatron Soundwave shippers are going insane in here. I absolutely love. I'm not sure if this is Alex Milne's art. It might be Alex Milne's art because he does like little expressions like this on the robots or like the Cybertronians, and like they're really cute. The face he makes here, like, oh, what the fuck? Oh, here's this too. And then this is where he crashes out as well. Immediately after that, Megatron goes back, fights Optimus, and then Optimus crashes out. Like says, whacks him on the face and says, why can't you ever die? And then Megatron just like, oh shit, I've cracked him. I've motherfucking cracked him. And then they fight again. Optimus loses for the third time against Megatron. And then in weird turn of events, I think this is Spike. I think that's Spike with Vicky. Spike and Prowl see a figure of Megatron carrying Optimus to their base, and then tells everybody that he is surrendering. He's surrendering and he wants to be taken into custody. I was like, goddamn, this divorce. He finally gives up after he breaks Optimus. Like, okay, that's enough fighting. I don't want to fight my wife anymore. He tried to kill my side hoe. He slapped me for real this time, asking me why I can't die. That's it. No more foreplay. I'm gonna surrender. And so begins the next arc. The setup for the next arc in Cybertron is the Chaos Theory. Possibly one of the best arcs ever in IDW comics. So again, Rodimus is being kept alive by the Matrix. He's trying to find his way back to Cybertron. Eventually he does. And then Rodimus reunites with... Oh my god, hello, Monthly Pirate! Welcome to the stream, everybody! Yeah, hello! My name is Sushi's, local overworked Red Panda. I work as an izakaya waitress in the morning and a certified variety streamer. And yapper at night. I like playing single-player narrative story-based games. And mostly any indie game that I find interesting to play on Steam. Aside from that, as you can see, I am currently talking about the entirety of the lore of the IDW comics in Transformers! Hello, Raiders! What's up, Motley Pirate? What have you been up to? I am doing this because I need to yap about the comics. I need to just yap about it. And because it is, I dubbed it as Febformers Month. I am, instead of celebrating the month of hearts or Valentine's, as I normally do, I've decided I will instead talk about my love for robots. Zelda! Ooh, Ocarina of Time. You know, I've never actually played any Legend of Zelda game. Not a single one. I haven't played a single Zelda game. At some point I tried playing I tried emulating some of the games on my phone when I was like in college, just to play it when I have to commute back home for like 2 hours. But I ended up just sleeping in the commute home. But I did emulate it. I downloaded all the games. I got Ocarina of Time, and there's another one I have not played. It's time for the hyperfixation info dump. Yeah, this is my hyperfixation right now. I haven't played Breath of the Wild. A friend of mine gave me a copy, or offered to give me his copy, but I said, look, I'm not ever going to touch that because I feel like that is a that's a commitment that I'm not ready to do, or like commitment ready to have. I know Breath of the Wild has a long gameplay loop, and I'm not ready for that. But anyway, hope you enjoyed your stream, Motley. As you are here, we are talking about Transformers. Are you familiar with who's your favorite Transformer? And what is the extent of your love for the Transformers, if you know of Transformers that way? Aw, glad that it was. Again, I don't know anything about Ocarina of Time. Maybe I should play that. I should play at least one Legend of Zelda game. There was another one. I forget the other. Aside from Ocarina of Time, what is a Game Boy Zelda game? I downloaded 2 of them, and I just never played them. Yeah. I don't know much about Transformers. I know my friends love it though. Ooh, I see. So may I ask, what has brought you here to our lovely izakaya? What has brought you here? I'm gonna go drink water. Drink water! So what do you call your community? We come. Oh my god, you've come. Anywho. For Motley, if you need to go to sleep or go get some rest, grab something to bite. Thank you so much again for the raid, but feel free to lurk, and as well as any other Motley pirate. I would assume that your community. Soundwave, I've been following you for ages and finally got to. Oh really? Oh my, thank you so much then. Is the best, that's all I know. You know what? Soundwave being the best. Alright, I agree. Denizens. Alright. Well, I welcome your denizens in my humble abode. I'm just going to be yapping. So if anybody wants to yap back, that's also fine with me. But if you want to just lurk or raid and run, that's also good with me. Thank you so much again, Motley. I appreciate it a lot. Eto ne. Where was I? Okay, so we are now on the road to chaos. We are now halfway through. No, not halfway. We're almost done with phase 1. We're almost done with phase 1. Oh god, phase 1. Took so long. So where was I? Yeah, so Rodimus is kept alive by the Matrix after Megatron punches a hole through his heart. He finds his way back to Cybertron, and then Rodimus reunites with Ironhide and Sunstreaker from the previous 2 comics ago that focused on Ironhide being revived by Alpha Trion. Galvatron is once again back here from the infestation miniseries with the zombies because of the darkness. They go back to Earth to help. Oh, I think, yeah, it's Rodimus and Ironhide and Sunstreaker. They go back to Earth to help. Oh, they go back to Earth for help. Wait, how did it go again? No. So Galvatron appears in Cybertron. He's asking Rodimus, Ironhide, and Sunstreaker to help him fight the darkness. They kind of say no, but because of what's happening, a new invasion that's happening in Cybertron, Rodimus, Ironhide, and Sunstreaker go back to Earth to call for help. That's what happened. Heart of Darkness. Oh, good lord. I skimmed this for real. I really do not care about Galvatron in IDW Comics. In the G1, however, I slightly cared. I slightly cared about him after I watched the movie. Essentially, in the original cartoon, Galvatron is a revived or repurposed Megatron to serve Unicron. But in the comics, Galvatron and Megatron are two different characters. Galvatron is an ancient transformer that lived during the original primes, the time of the original primes. And he got stuck somewhere in the Dark Universe. I absolutely did not like Heart of Darkness. Unfortunately, it is a mandatory reading, so I read it, but I remember absolutely nothing. So this was set before and after Infestation, the whole zombie thing from the Dark Universe, and then using the Heart of Darkness. At this point, Galvatron has now amassed an army of the undead to fight the D-Void, whatever that is, a Darkness Void, which is coming for Cybertron. Why is it coming for Cybertron? I have no fucking clue. And then it reverse Uno cards him, and the horde of zombies is now a big planet eating monstrosity trying to swallow the entirety of Cybertron. This leads us now to one of the best arcs in IDW comics. Oh, not yet pala, not yet. Okay, we do have the beginning of the end. 21 to 30, issues 21 to 31 of the Transformers mainline series. Oh my god, what an ending! What an ending! This motherfucking thing is, what an ending! What you need to know, there are two story arcs, the Chaos Theory, and then the Police Action. In the reading order that I'm following by Ken Prenders, it tells you to just read it by release order, because there are some reading orders that tell you to read them separately. It's fine. I wasn't really that confused. I suppose it just reading them in order of release and not by each story arc can be a little bit confusing because it kind of stops the momentum, especially when things are getting a little too good with the Chaos Theory part, and then suddenly you're hit with the Police Action side story, and then once again back to the Chaos Theory when the Police Action story is getting good. Yeah, it depends on what your flavor is, but for me, I was reading this back and forth for each one. So the first one is, I will just talk like very quickly on what each story arc had. Police Action is Prowl's beef with Spike with Wiki. Prowl starts investigating the murder of Scrapper, who is a Constructicon, part of Devastator. Spike continues to rage bait Prowl, and then Prowl absolutely hated Spike after, because now he finds out that a lot of the things that he thinks or he thought was like a good characteristic of Spike has all been a lie. Spike has been selling Cybertronian contraband or buying contraband from Swindle and all that stuff, because Spike also hates Cybertronians for what happened in New York. He's just really good at working with people that he hates and then backstabs them. And then with Chaos Theory, everybody works together, Decepticon and Autobot, to beat the D-Void. The war might have ended like in All Hail Megatron, but this is the real end of the war. They're back in Cybertron. This is where they end the war. And then at the very end of the story, the Matrix of leadership that gives Optimus Prime his title as Prime breaks into two. And then at the end, this is now Chaos Theory. The Transformers issues 22 and 23. This is a back-to-back story. It's all flashback. This is when the story gets really, really good. Everybody say amen. Thank you, James Roberts. The most important thing you need to know about these back-to-back issues is that it has Megatron's backstory, again, kind of set immediately after Megatron's origins, is, again, from when he was a minor, and then he gets, what do you call this? Wait, I think I wrote it down here. Okay. So after the events of Megatron Origins, where he kills his first mech in an uprising as a minor, Megatron is arrested in a bar fight that he wasn't even a part of. He didn't even start it. he was having like a drink with his friend. And then his friend was like, "Oh, looks like trouble's gonna happen. We should stay here and watch." And then Megatron was like, "No, I think we should get out of here before we get attention. We draw attention to ourselves." Because at this point, Megatron was already drafting Peaceful Tyranny, his manifesto against the Primes, or his manifesto against the current government that is leading Cybertron. The Functionist government that is leading Cybertron. And he doesn't want that attention on themselves, because if they get police attention on themselves, they're gonna get arrested and all that stuff. Either way, they get arrested because so he was writing Mein Kampf. Yeah, essentially, he was writing Mein Kampf. Essentially. But the Peaceful Tyranny is what the main idea of Peaceful Tyranny is, that he wants societal change from the classism that is happening in Cybertron. He wants equal rights for the low class, which is mostly made up of miners, gladiators, the lesser fortunate Cybertronians, or the Cybertronians that doesn't have an alt mode that is useful to the current government. It's not a violent protest, essentially. He's writing a book that doesn't have violence in it, or like he's not promoting violence, but a lot of people has turned it, or a lot of Cybertronians kind of took it as a way to bear arms and start a revolution with violence. Either way, he writes that book. He gets captured. He gets sent to prison. Whirl, an important character for later on, Whirl beats him up in a prison cell. And then Orion Pax reads Peaceful Tyranny. And then he lets him go after reading it. Megatron takes the reading packet back. He thinks it's foolish to try peace now, and is determined to lead a violent revolt. And then, meanwhile, fellas, is it gay to be spurred into revolution against fascism by a nameless prisoner you set free? Then this person eventually becomes your sworn enemy. It's gay as fuck. Even the Autobots think so. This is the infamous panels that got me reading the entire comics in the first place. I am reading 397 books just to get to this part. Oh my... The Mecha Yaoi has taken over my soul. This is the reason why. So, like I said, after Orion Pax reads Peaceful Tyranny, he runs to the Senate and speaks the words of Megatron from his book to fight the system. At this point, Orion Pax is a enforcer. He's a cop. He's a fucking cop. I don't like that Orion starts as a cop. This is the one. Mecha Yaoi is a crazy line. Thank you for no follow. Am I into Robot Yaoi? Why do you think I'm reading this? Why do you think I'm so into Transformers? Because of the mechs? Nah, it's for the Yaoi. Okay, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It's both. I'm in here for the mechs and the Mecha Yaoi. And also the politics and the Game of Thrones, and the politics in it, the lore, everything in it. I'm a big fan. Big fan. So here are some of the panels, like, holy shit. Okay. So remember in the previous 4 issues, Megatron has surrendered himself to the Autobots. They do have Yaoi hands. He surrendered himself to the Autobots, and now this is Optimus preparing himself to talk to him. He's stretching this motherfucker. And then he walks in. All of the Autobots in the camp is like up there on the viewing deck, watching them. And then Optimus tells Omega, the ship, I think, the ship. His name is Omega Supreme, I think. He asks them to give them privacy, and Omega shuts the viewing deck so that nobody can see. The funny thing is, I'll tell you later. I'll tell you later. Okay, so then now there they are. Look at that. Oh my god, he's showing him his dick. His currently non-existent dick. But this angle is like it's very sexually implied. There's a lot of implications happening here. He just calls him Prime, he calls him Megatron, and then they talk. So Optimus asks, okay, so how are we doing this? Or are we going to spend the next hour posturing with each other, or actually have a civilized conversation? And then Megatron goes, well, I'm the one that's tied up. How about you put me down first, then we talk? And Optimus goes, yeah, okay, you're right. His hydraulic piston! Like, yeah, okay, sige, sure. Let's go sit down together. Takes a seat, and then this motherfucker, Megatron, sits with his legs crossed like they're having tea or coffee with each other. Insane. And then, anyway, Optimus asks why Megatron surrendered. They have a talk about philosophy and shit, and then they also talk about, they reminisce over the past encounters they have, like their exes. Like their exes talking about the good times that they have, but the good times that they had together involved like the murder of each other's people, you know? It's a war, but they think of it fondly. Okay, so and then they laughed at the end of it. Heh. They laugh at the end of it. And then he goes, we could end it right now, you know. We could end the war. You and me, we can end the war together. And then Megatron just goes, huh. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Or we'll see. We'll see what happens, you know. If I will actually agree to end of war, an official end of war. And then Optimus goes back to where the other Autobots are to kind of get their idea, and then Rodimus hears goes, look, you closed the curtains on us back there, but you didn't shut down the audio feed. We overheard you and Megatron, and honestly, it was getting a little cozy. He's calling Optimus Prime out. He's calling him out for being buddy-buddy with Megatron, the Warlord. Being buddy-buddy with him, and even wanting to, like, spare him from persecution once he's surrendered. And then Optimus loses his shit. He tells everybody to get out. And now he's just head on hands. He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't want to throw his boyfriend under the bus. I know he's toxic and all, but he's a good person. Believe me. And also, I think at this part as well, Megatron corrects Optimus, like, when was the first time they actually met? He corrects him, saying the first time that they met was actually in the prison, where he had his heel turn and had the whole, this is the point where I became Megatron, leader of the Decepticons. You were there. You just didn't notice me. Did I have it here? Oh, this is the part. This is the part where Orion Pax storms into the Senate. And I absolutely love this set of panels. So, he just storms himself. He storms into the Senate, forcibly goes in. Look at him, he's battered. Because I think the Senate also wants him dead. Yeah. Oh, thank you for the follow, Remy Morningstar. So, he said, look, he writes this. My friend's name was Megatron, and he had 3 questions. 3 things he said you should demand to know of any powerful institution. Question 1. In whose interests do you exercise your power? Question 2. To whom are you accountable? And 3. How can we get rid of you? Also, look at this bot right here. This bot. I think that's Soundwave. I think this is Soundwave. Sorry. Shockwave. I think this might be Shockwave. Either way. Yeah, Megatron's think piece or war piece sets Orion Pax down the path of revolution. And I think that's great. I think that's great. In a way, they use this, I think they in some way they used. Oh no, sorry. This might be Shockwave actually. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Essentially, I think they used Chaos Theory, at least the backstory presented in Chaos Theory, as a foothold for the backstory that they made in the aligned continuity for Transformers Prime, and further polished even more in Transformers 1, which is, again, I think very neat. Okay, wait. There's also a thing here. After this, once Optimus is done thinking about what he's supposed to do with Megatron, he electrocutes him. He essentially tortures him. And then, at that point, it's implied that the reason why Megatron allowed himself to be captured was to rekindle his fire for the war. Like, rekindle his whole purpose for the war. Because it's also implied that the reason why Megatron became who he was as like the warlord after his persecution in the prison was because World beat him up. He responded to violence with violence. So now at this point, after Optimus electrocuted Megatron, he now has all the reason to once again respond to violence with violence. It's like, whoo! James Roberts! Ooh! I just absolutely love the writing. And now, at this point, how many books have I read? I have read 134 over 397 books. That is only half the year. Or maybe not even half the year. A third of the year that I started reading from once I started reading the entirety of the comics. What is my summary? Is there a summary here? Well, yeah, that's I will end the stream there actually, because part 2 comes out on Wednesday. I will not be streaming tomorrow. I have to touch grass. Depends on how I feel. If the grass touching continues tomorrow, then I will not stream. But if the grass touching does not continue tomorrow, I will stream instead. I will stream because I feel like I have to divide the next half into 2 more parts. It's pretty long. I did not expect when I was making this PowerPoint, I did not expect this to be this long. So I'm probably gonna have to divide the next part into 2 again. But anyway, I will just like preface of what's gonna happen in part 2. So again, what to know? Phase 1 was kind of a mess. But the things that are worth reading is Autocracy, All Hail Megatron, maybe a bit of Megatron's origins if you're into that. You can totally skip the entirety of D Transformers Volume 1 and 7. However, do read Last Stand of the Wreckers and Chaos Theory. Part 2 is the good part, because at this point we are now headed into a direction that has a starting point and an end point. This is now fuckingly Phase 2! The best phase, actually. A lot of the fans prefer Phase 2 than Phase 1. I agree. I also agree. Yeah, it's a good art, right? That's official! This is an official art. I think it's the Japanese cover for More Than Meets the Eye and Robots in Disguise. I have this as like my wallpaper on my phone. It's so good! It's so good! Okay, wait, let me see. What do I have here? Okay, here. So, these are the 2 people we have to thank for Phase 2. We have, these are also names that we have, these are their, what do you call this? Picture cards or entitled title cards? Title cards in TF Wiki. We have John Barber. It's really funny that they say I'm God's gift to continuity. And then James Roberts, the writer for the lead writer for More Than Meets the Eye. So John Barber is leading the mainline Transformers, which is Robots in Disguise, and then John Barber is James Roberts is leading More Than Meets the Eye. The reason why John Barber is called God's gift to continuity, because apparently he did a lot of stitching around, fixing a lot of the continuity issues that Simon Furman's run and the other people that headed the phase 1. All of the dropped plot points, he picked them up again and made it useful for phase 2. James Roberts' More Than Meets the Eye is really, really good because of how intricate and how very detailed he is when it comes to character writing and character motivations. He has a Bible. He mentioned it before that he has like a More Than Meets the Eye or Lost Light Bible, inputting there like what every character's backstory was, what they were doing during the war, what's their character motivation, how they interact with other characters and stuff like that. It's very detailed, and you can see if you read More Than Meets the Eye, if there's anything in here that makes you even a slightly interested of reading, I would definitely recommend More Than Meets the Eye. And then John Barber's just like really good with plot points. Although Robots in Disguise is more politically inclined, because it's all about the reconstruction of the governing body in Cybertron. Meanwhile, More Than Meets the Eye is just space adventures. Space adventures! Adventures in space! It's a little bit like Doctor Who, actually. More Than Meets the Eye. Anyway, that is where I will end today's stream. Let's go back here. Ba-bam! That's where I will end today's stream. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I hope you enjoyed me yapping for 3 hours for the first part of IDW Transformers. Ito de. I hope you retained some of the information, or I made you a little bit more interested in joining me in my hyperfixation, which is robots in space. And thank you so much again for the raid, Motley Pirate. Really, I appreciate it. I appreciate it a lot. And I hope your denizens have enjoyed their little stay here. Thanks for fixating. Okay, here is my socials. If you're interested in following me in any of them, I have Blue Sky and Twitter as well. I have a YouTube channel for past VODs. If you're interested in checking out any of them, we have a Discord server. We talk about anything and everything under the sun, mostly mechas, because I like mechas. I like reading and writing fan fiction, so sometimes I post some of the gems that I find and some of the gems that I write. Well, gems that I write over there. I like watching movies as well, so I put my reviews up there. We can talk about animals or just anime or any shows that you watch. What else? What am I missing? Am I missing anything? I don't really think so. So let me just move everybody here to the side. Whee! And let's look for somebody to raid. Who are we raiding? Raid Shadow Legends. Hold on. Uh-oh. Twitch. Who do we raid? Uh-oh. Let me see. Who's alive? Who's awake? Let's raid Luca! It's been a while. Let's raid Luca. Luca Hyun. Oh, I can't type. I cannot type. Did I type it correctly? Luca Hyun? Oopsies. Hold on. Let me just double check. Yep, okay. Got it right. Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much again for joining me tonight, everybody. And I will see you all tomorrow. Oyasumi nasai. Arigatou gozaimasu. Johnny!